See how it goes.
So long as I'm in this Oval Office.
Hey, oh, hello there. How are you? I'm Andreas. So I don't really do a lot of one-on-ones anymore. I should. I'm gonna start doing them all the time. It sounds like fun. But I also thought about how to get the Discord working because a lot of people have been wanting to do radio chat. And so this is your opportunity. If you're trying to do a radio chat and you want to like reach out and ask questions, ta-da, surprise. Yeah, so just go to the Discord. I'm going to show you how I did this first because if you guys want to do this on your own, I'm one of those open source kind of guys. So I'll probably show you how this works. Hooray. Okay, so here's my screen. Yeah, there you go. Check out this. So I've got Audio Hijack Pro running with Discord. So here's the Discord. And you can go to the Discord really easily. Just go to tartarynova.com. You've heard this before. You click on Discord entry and it'll take you to the boom. There you are. You're at the Discord. Amazing. There's 838 members and it fluctuates. It goes up and down, mostly up. That's pretty sweet. So StreamYard audio was confusing. I had to ask some friends from Canada, but I figured this out. And basically what we do is we get to the Audio Hijack Pro app, Audio Hijack Pro, and then I set up this module. So this module, I've got an input device, which is my microphone, and over here I've got my Discord. Okay, are you able to hear me? Is the audio sound good? Because if the audio sounds good, that's because my module is running well through Black Hole. Black Hole, let's do that real quick. Black Hole Mac. Black Hole Audio Loop Driver is a modern OS loopback driver, which allows me to make essentially an audio device, a virtual audio device out of my audio inputs and put them in and stream them together, plug them together like Unix. It's freaking great. So the fact that you can hear me is good. That's a good sign. All right. The other thing is Travis, I'm going to show it this way. Travis gifted 1 membership, which is freaking amazing. Travis, you've been really helping. And I want to tell people that the membership thing is really cool right now. At first I was like, I don't know, I'm going to put all my content out for free, but they won't let me. It's not even my choice. It's Crazy Eddie's here with the crazy cars and like the crazy prices. That's how I feel. They're taking my content and locking it down against my will. There's 2 ways to do this. One, you can be cool. You can go on the Discord. You can find all the secret links because we have Easter eggs. But if you really want to support me, which I really actually, at this point, I need it. I appreciate it, but I kind of need it. So I love that you're doing this because it makes it possible. I really want to be doing this. So helping me get this content to people because they're hiding it. So people are looking for it. It's actually not the worst thing. You can still get the content for free. If you know how, you can find it. But yeah, join the membership. And the people that are becoming members because of people like Travis who are gifting memberships, I just want to say thank you for gifting memberships. I think that's my new favorite feature of YouTube is gifting memberships, because I want more people to have access to the content that they're saying we don't want you to show that to people. Right now we've got like our Thanksgiving special, which is about King James's magic rituals. I feel like that was super cool, right? Like that was great. It's still under lockdown. It's like under review to see if I'm allowed to show it to you publicly. So yeah, this is why I say watch all of our lives, because everything is available live. And then once it's done, it's in God's hands, or maybe not. You know what I mean? I feel like it's in God's hands because everything is, but kind of feels like man's hands, doesn't it? Or like man hands. I'm not gonna make that metaphor. So we could do a bunch of stuff. I could just like go through my own reality for a second. Maybe I'll show you the Discord for a bit, try to lead you guys in. Okay, I don't hear Yeet Machine, but I see him. Yeet, are you in the Discord? Are you in the Discord radio? Oh, but I don't hear him. Hold on. This is weird.
I'm in the radio chat.
So he's been talking. Maybe you guys can hear him, and there's something weird going on. So what I need to do, okay, I'm going to go back to my entire screen, because this could be my fault. All right. So we've got this going on. I've got my Discord and my Rode going to black hole, but I don't have a thing so I can listen to it. So what I need is an output device, don't I? Ooh, system. Now talk. Can you talk? Hello, Travis?
I'm fucking now.
Oh, boy. All right, now I'm going to change it for my microphones. Oh, now I hear the echo. I guess that's okay. What do I do about that? I guess I'll just deal with it. I can hear myself. I don't need to hear myself. But Travis, go on. How you doing?
I'm all right. How are you?
Oh, it's so quiet. Can anyone hear him? Hold on. This is what I deserve. Advance, split audio between channels. No. Include audio input. Oh, that might be a thing. Let me turn off my own. Hello, check. Now you talk.
Hi, can you hear me?
Oh, it's still so quiet. Oh, is it going to the other ear? Talk some more. Keep talking.
Can you hear me?
Now I can. All right, there you go. So what do you guys hear? You guys are hearing it perfectly? I hear someone clear.
Yeah, I hear it
perfect for us.
I hear it perfectly.
Okay, so now I'm going to not split it between channels. All right, now talk.
I am talking again.
All right, guys, tell me if that's better, because I feel like if we're splitting between channels, you're hearing left channel and right channel. So talk for a second.
Oh, I'm trying not to cough, but all right.
That's okay. You can cough. You can cough in stereo or mono. There you go. That is a stereo split mono cough. What do you guys think? Is that cool? All right, now we're going back to stereo. So what's been up, man? How you doing? Oh, I think he's still coughing.
I'm back.
What's up, bro?
Not much.
So I just I'm setting up the Discord so people can jump in. Anybody who's interested, I'm gonna wave at Unslebrio, and say what's up. And anybody who wants, they can jump into the Xirtus voice and video. Ta-da! How's that go?
I see Alex in here.
Yeah. What's up, Alex? You're not unmuted yet.
What's up, guys?
Ooh, hello. How you doing?
Doing good. How about you?
I'm pretty excited, personally. I've been wanting to do this for a long time.
Hey, I got a question. If you're already open for questions.
That sounds like the plan, bro. What's up?
All right, on the flat Earth, there's like that big magnetic mountain thing for north, right? But if we're on a globe, but if we're on a globe Earth and polar north has changed, would that affect if there was like a magnetic mountain in the North Pole?
I find it interesting that things are moving, right? Like the idea that magnetic north and true north are shifting says a lot. So I mean, I think we're kind of going with the Yggdrasil, right? Let me look at that real quick. Yggdrasil is this idea that there's sort of like a centric tree at the center of the world, and I think that could mean a lot of things. Even in a globe paradigm, you're still talking about the North Pole, right? So the North Pole does seem to matter a lot. Holy cow, we have people that are just pouring in all of a sudden. That worked well. I'm glad. But yeah, I don't
If
know.
that
So the
if magnetic north shifts, wouldn't that take it away from wherever that supposed magnetic mountain is in Hyperborea?
So here's what's crazy, right? Like Turtle Earth. If you start thinking about the idea that this tree and its root structure is on the back of a giant moving continent and that these islands are actually moving around, that's not that different from tectonic plate theory, actually. A lot of people are already saying that things are moving around. I don't know if the tree itself is the cause of the magnetic pole, though. It could be that the magnetic pole has a lot more to do with environmental shifts. We should do the thing where we ask Bard. I don't know why I'm in that window. Let me go to Brave. I got Chrome open, Edge open, Brave open. I got them all open. Hold on. What's this
Can
one?
I watch you on the Discord?
Can you watch me on the Discord?
Yeah.
Let me see. I'll try that out in a second. Okay, so first I got this window open. I'm going to look up Bard, so I can open that up, and I'll click on Bard, and I'll be like, new Bard app, and be like, why does a true north shift? Okay, well, that's happening. Now I'm going to go to Discord. I'm going to click on Discord. And I should probably just share my whole screen for a bit. Let's see how that works.
Well, and my understanding at least, like with the magnetic north shifting and everything, like isn't it like our North Star shifting to like Aldebaran and everything, where it's like a cycle almost? So like if it is shifting, wouldn't it return back eventually?
Yeah, I mean, so part of this idea is that we go through. Oh, that's going to make me quit and come back. I'll see you in a second. Back in the radio chat. Okay, and then share screen, and then Bard. Boom. Go live. All right, you should be able to see my Bard screen now. Is that working?
Yep.
Okay, so now the next thing I want to do, I'm going to go to the audio hijack source application not running. Ooh. Okay, so that's the problem. Now can you hear me? Is it better, or is the audio like way worse now that it's double? Is it
That's
double?
all good.
It's a little bit quieter now, but it's all right.
All right, how about this? Somebody let me know how the audio is going because I just switched the input. Is it super silent this way? Okay, I'm gonna go back. Audio input, and then I'm gonna turn off my audio. Is this better? Can you guys hear me now? Slightly now?
I mean, I thought you were fine to begin with. It's just quieter than it was.
All right, I'm just checking because people are. I mean, I got the YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, all of it open at once. I want to hear everybody's their
Yeah,
version of the
it's
story.
clearer on YouTube. There's no difference in Discord when you turn it on, but I think that's just because Discord runs like suppression and everything. But YouTube sounds better now.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, let me move this guy out of the window for a second. Get rid of these notifications. Hi. Oh, Okay. So here's what this guy says. Can you hear this? Hold on.
Yeah. I can't hear that at all.
Okay. So then there's another thing I can fix. So let's do application audio input, and then select the Brave browser, but specifically only one channel. Limit audio capture to no. That's not right. There's got to be a way to do that too, but I'm afraid that's going to make it really weird. Okay, well, how about this?
Of the Earth's axis,
Can you hear that?
similar to the
Yeah. Well, I can't hear you.
Yeah, I was gonna say whatever you did before to make yourself louder, do that again.
Okay, does this make it louder? Can you hear me now? Is that better? Or nothing different? Hello? Can you guys hear me?
I
Is it
can't.
worse?
I can hear you.
Is it worse or better?
It's about the same.
Hmm.
I can only hear you though, not whatever you're trying to play.
Yeah. Okay, well, let me play this again. Can you hear this?
It's better. I have to like deafen Discord to make sure I'm hearing YouTube.
Okay. But you can hear the guy talking, the AI voice?
Not on Discord.
Not on the Discord? Oh, well,
Mhm.
duh. What am I even thinking? Okay. So go to the Discord. God, is everyone watching this? This is embarrassing. Go to the Discord. I'm doing it. I'm telling myself what to do. Edit freaking audio settings, man. What do I do? Audio. Come on. Audio and video. Okay.
I'm adding all
Input
my
device.
friends to come. I hope they don't get mad at me.
Boom. Now it's going to be freaking nuts. Can you hear that echo? That's kind of dangerous. Listen to that. It's like we're in space. Can you hear that?
Yeah.
This is pretty sweet.
Sounds like you're in a cave.
I'm going to have to learn how to do this so I can include multiple sources of audio, basically. Things. It's like Pink Floyd. All right. Settings, audio, video, input, my Rode mic. Boom. Back to normal. Is that better? Or just a little weird echo?
Oh, no echo anymore.
Okay. But you can still hear the AI voice?
No. Never heard it once.
Oh. So you can only hear the AI voice on YouTube unless I figure out a better way to do an audio output. That seems like the deal. Because if I do audio output to my black hole sound through Discord, then it includes the Discord. So what I need is like a new.
Wait a minute. 631167 says he can hear the AI voice on YouTube.
Well, he could a second ago, surely, but I don't think now he can. Can you still? Is the echo still not echo?
No echo on Discord. I'm only on
Just get
Discord
in the
because you told me to switch over.
All right. Well, let me see. Who's on the YouTube right now, and who can hear an echo? Raise your hand. Your voice sounds like SH from Facebook. So remove that in. All right. Now is the echo better? I feel like I got rid of the echo now. That should be.
There's no echo.
Okay. Echoes are still going. Some people say on YouTube. I can't tell. They say they can still hear them a minute ago, though. All right, 17. You can still hear it? Maybe I just better. No, it says it's better. So there's that. I don't know. But okay. You can't. Yeah, it's in memory says it's gone. But you still can't hear in the Discord my internet. So let me see if I can fix that somehow. So
Can't you just play the YouTube video on the Discord share?
Oh, no, it's not a video. See, because are you looking at my screen share?
That's what I was talking about, but
Yeah.
I don't know anything like that.
Oh, maybe the screen share includes audio. How do I do that? System settings, audio and video, input device. It doesn't have a way to include just like your input sound. So I can't figure out how to do that. You can read it, but maybe the best feature here is just to have people ask questions in the Discord and then like listen to the video through YouTube.
Okay.
With this, it's cool on the YouTube because if I push the resume button, so basically I can be like, use the microphone. Hey, right. What do you think? What do you think about reality? And then it answers. You can have like pretty great conversations with AI, and you can start to ask it questions about, what the scientific narrative about something is. It's pretty sweet. Let me also check out the Discord again. With the Discord, have you guys been using it? It's pretty good. You go to the gematria section, people are doing gematria. You go to the geology section, people are doing geology. Pretty happy about this.
I like the weird AI art.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Is that still work? You can make AI art with Midjourney in the Discord?
I don't know. I use a bunch of different sites.
Yeah. We had a thing.
I'm trying to break it.
How do you break it? What do you mean?
Well, like for example, one of my pictures I posted Nick Nolte and Gary Busey as babies, and it just made him look really handsome. I'm just like trying to like think of anything to put in there to just like I did make it say one thing weird about like that. If you scroll up far enough on AI art, you can see it, but it's probably like thousands of posts up.
How long ago was it? This is November 23rd. Here's Black Eye. Here's you, Black Eye. Oh, look at me as a clockwork. Why did I miss? I feel so dumb. I've got such good friends, and they're making me lovely art. Let's put a pumpkin. No, let's do Donald Duck. No, let's do Alf. Alf is the answer. Oh, these are so good. I had no idea how good. Thomas, look at this. This is good. Wow. Yeah, it's nice to know some people try to be immortal. I never did. I just accidentally have now become a caricature, which I think is better. It's not even me, but that's okay. Dude, these are great. Oh, man. I haven't even seen these. I feel so bad. People need to go in the Discord. I need to go in the Discord. The Discord's amazing. Look at some of this stuff.
I have to say, Thomas's AI art is just completely its own thing. Particularly his reimagined 80s sitcoms. That stuff unnerves me so bad that I love it. It's great.
I love the use of like sexuality and pornography in the training. Like you can tell, like this was all trained with pornography, and when they get rid of human form, it does bad. But now AI art it has the same subliminal sex appeal, so that's brilliant, really. Ooh, IBM, this one's cute. Look at that. Oh, we got a Keenan. We love you, Keenan. Keenan became a YouTube member. Keenan, we love you. You become a YouTube member every once in a while, don't you? I feel you've done this. I love you, dude. You're a great guy. So if anyone has questions, we could return to the subject of the poll and how the poll shifts. That's a reasonable thing to think about. Just look into that more. I'll go back to that in a second. Oh, these are like Valentines. It's cute. It's pretty cute.
Hey, I just asked last show where Keenan was, and then he reappeared. So it was manifested.
As far as I know, Keenan's always with us. Keenan's like in our hearts, like Yugoslavia or something. He's a great man. I do love Keenan. He's cool. Well, yeah, I haven't found your babies. Is this it? No, this can't be it. That's Travis. Travis, what have you done?
What are you looking at?
Looks like some human some gay sex right there with cats, and then
that was one of my favorites. That was a good one.
Yeah, practical use of subliminal art. Eat machine.
I think I got John
Are we getting there?
From someone.
This is getting there. We're getting there. This is a good constructive use of AI. Making art. Pretty good stuff. They must have used like a older AI. It doesn't seem. This is going to be some of the stuff that people forget about, like the primitive AI generations. But I like videotape. I like old things. I'll probably celebrate the primordial AI art. Ooh, what happened here? Whoops. Okay. Fire at the chase. Pretty sweet. Let's see. I believe he has his own playlist. Are you talking about Keenan? Your audio is low and the guests are okay. So I don't know what the deal is. Maybe I need to turn up my audio on Discord or something. Let's see. Audio input device. It says my audio is determine input sensitivity. How about that? Am I good now? You guys like that, don't you? Like right up here, even higher, like up there.
Sounds good on Discord.
Let me guys know if this is loud enough for you. I'm just adjusting the audio directly. No, still terrible, he says. All right, well, at least you're honest. Going to the audio section. Mic is hot. They're saying it's hot. So bring it down. Yeah. So like 23 below 0 decibels. Is this good?
That's fine on YouTube.
5
Yeah, I
by
was gonna
5.
say,
See,
Posts on Discord and YouTube, so I don't know if he's on Facebook or what, but
oh, it could be. I don't know. But this is what I want to find out. I'm trying to get this as universal as possible. We should get to the point where we got random people pouring in from every angle and not necessarily against the phone. We'll have a phone number. You can call with the phone number in a second. I know Danny Polishchuk's all about that. Yeah, sounds great now. You got to turn off that automatic setting. Yeah, it's not a good thing. I do hear my own echo. So I'm trying to talk over myself it's making me a little mumbly. But I've always been the original mumble rapper, someone said. So ooh, Mickey. Let me see if I can find the window I had open about Bard. I ask a lot of questions to Bard now. I think Bard's really practical. You could be like, let me give you an example. I could be like, NCIS paper. No, NCIC journal, magnetic north, something like that. Nature. Okay. Boom. Take this article. What's this journal about? And boom, it'll just break down the journal. And I could be like, can you break down the journal? It's like Willy Wonka. Why should I tell you where the chocolate bar is? You know, but it will. It'll do it. No, it won't. That's funny. I've done such a better job every other time. I guess they're trying to make it worse. I've done a lot of breaking down articles with Bard, and I think it's going to start breaking soon. They don't want everyone to have the access to that stuff, like be able to just break down an article. Hearing voices in the Discord, am I? I see Lord Fnord. What's up, Lord Fnord? Nobody. How about Yeet, Travis? Are your microphones working? I don't know. Well, as I said before, if anybody's interested in talking, if they have any questions,
just
they
so
want to
you
ask.
know, Xirtus, we can't hear you in Discord. We can on YouTube though.
You can't hear me on the Discord? Really? What is going on? Rode microphone. It says it should be working. Huh? You're not able to hear me in the Discord? Is that the case? That's really weird. I'm gonna... Boom. Can you hear me now? In Discord? Is that working? No? You guys still can't?
No, I think it's your old contacts at NASA shutting you down.
That's brutal. Why would they do this? Automatically detect, sense, push to talk, microphone.
I saw it light up for a second.
Weird. Really weird. Okay, well, let's go back to audio hijack. Session's not running. How about now? No? Worse? Worse.
Do you think it's the automatic detection cutting in and out, or no?
I turned off automatic detection. It should be
I don't know.
The volume. When you were loud, we heard you.
When you were loud, I am loud, I think. Let me look at my screen. I'll share my screen on the screen. So meta. Okay. So here's my screen. Here's my audio input. My microphone is set. I have testing. Yeah, it sees my microphone. Voice activity. Input sensitivity is turned off, so it's just turned up. So you should be able to hear it. And yeah, I don't see the deal. I don't see the problem. It could be crazy. So very strange. Nobody can hear me in the Discord now. All right, let's change
this is what happens when government.
There we go. All right, I'll turn off my audio input. Include audio input. How about now? Can you hear me now? Discord? Nobody? Something very strange is afoot. Trying to stop me from Discording. Trying to stop me from having call-ins. Alex, I can hear you. Can you hear me? Nobody? Dang. That's a frustration. All right, back to my audio hijack. Changing the audio. It sounded like for a while.
I can hear you on YouTube, not in Discord. I think you need to put it back to how it was and put on the automatic back on
okay.
Determine input sensitivity.
Okay, so now I have automatic back on. Is that working?
Yep.
That's
I can hear you.
weird. That's really weird.
Well, I think you set your like pickup volume too high above your voice. So unless like you yelled, it wasn't necessarily picking you up.
Oh, that wasn't level of audio. That was pickup.
Yeah.
Bollocks. Okay. Gigi's falling asleep, or he really loves Jesus. Is that what Jesus means? That'd be funny. I need to smoke for this green heart, I think is what that says. I don't know. I should get, I don't know, just reading some of the comments in the YouTube. Someone was having some complications. Well, it sounds like we kind of got it working is the point. So is there anything, let me go back to the AI art. Is there anything that you guys have been thinking about? Tech spread, can you hear me?
Yay.
I hear Travis. Travis is there. He's eating like a storm.
Yeah, I can hear you.
What's up, guys? How's it going? I put up a Christmas tree today for my mom. It was great. I have all these ornaments that are like forever old, you know. I got ornaments I made as a kid. I pulled up this memory expansion PCI card for a Macintosh 2, an Apple II. And I realized this chip is probably like now worth a lot more than it was when it was crap. And I just put it into an ornament, you know. It's great.
Well, now it's collectible to the techno.
Bruh. Everything I ever had was collectible. I feel like it's like we lived in the collectible generation.
Yeah. It was like anything you threw away as a kid or like teenager because it was getting old is now probably worth $40 to $60.
At least. Yeah, at least. Anything. God, some of that stuff's worth way more. You're trying to get a Nickelodeon alarm clock, you know?
Bro, just think about like the mass-produced like toys you could just get at like Toys R Us or like Furbies, dude. A Furby probably sells for $100 now, and that shit was $19.99 at every Target. Like
Furbies were cool. Yeah, that's crazy, man. That's a crazy world. But I guess $19 was a lot of money. Also, theoretically,
Yeah.
You could do a lot more with $19. Could feed a family of 4 like Applebee's. What have I got pulled up here? I had some things I wanted to show off at some point. Bard is interesting to me. I do wanted to talk about it, but I don't have the audio figured out enough to make it work properly, which I think is really important because the capacity to just break up a book. You'd be like, break down chapter by chapter, Brezhnev's Pronoia. Boom. And then it'll know the book, preface, chapter, principles, universe is friendly, Pronoia in action. Do it again. Let's do it again. Break down Galileo's error by chapter by chapter. Okay. So then we're going to break down Galileo's error, one of the greatest books that's come out in the last 5 to 10 years or ever. Philip Goff's Galileo's Error. Chapter 1, Problem of Consciousness. In this chapter, Goff introduces the problems of consciousness, in which one of the most difficult and puzzling questions in all of science is, he argues that the problem of consciousness is so difficult because it's not clear what consciousness is. And so they go into the materialist hypothesis. Goff discusses the materialist hypothesis, which is the dominant view of consciousness in the modern science. Materialist hypothesis states that consciousness is simply a product of the physical processes in the brain. Goff argues that the materialist hypothesis failed to adequately explain the problem of consciousness. I would go further and say it's because it's like, about the past. The hard problem of consciousness that seems to exist is divine principles in the past. Panpsychist hypothesis is introduced. And it's an interesting book because he talks about how we basically separated science from spirituality at the time of Galileo, which was a foolish thing to do and broke science and spirituality, essentially. I really like this book. I recommend reading Galileo's Error. But even if you don't have time, you can literally be like, I'm going to, click on the audio button, break it down chapter. He'll tell you the book, and like I could even go further. Like, okay, so I really was interested in maybe chapter. It sounds like if I were going to read something today, maybe I'd read chapter 4. So I'd be like, okay, break or summarize. Come on, summarize chapter 4. Boom, and then it'll just summarize chapter 4. I think it's super practical. Then I can be like, okay, cool. Now I'll listen to this book while I'm asleep, read it again, chapter 4. This is a huge thing to do. You can take the key points, export it to a sheet, so you have notes for class. Let's say you have to read this book for school, right? This is what you would do. It's pretty sweet. Show the code behind the result. Let's break down the chapter. There's the code behind the result. I love Bard. It's really pretty sweet.
See, but I wonder if people will start to like hide or use like Cypher to write books now based on it's like
Of
you
course.
could get.
Yeah, I mean, let's think about Russian literature in general then, right? Master Margarita. Master Margarita was written once. He was arrested. It was burnt. He was put into a Russian Soviet gulag. He wrote it on butcher paper for 20 years again until he got it smuggled out. It definitely has a lot of hidden innuendos and messages, even though it's boldly saying what it's saying about Lucifer, God, man, his struggle, free will, or lack thereof, But yeah, like let's also think the Omega Code. When you start breaking into numerology, right? Like John Dee got obsessed with numerology because he realized that Hebrew was numerologically based. There's this fun movie, The Omega Code, with the father of the Nexium cult victim, who was also in Starship Troopers, right? So I would say check out that movie. Basically, it's like a 90s movie about a guy who figures out how to use a computer to break down the codes in the Bible. And of course, there are tons of codes in the Bible because it's freaking numbers, right? Like that's pretty reasonable. Thing is, you can't hide anything anymore, right? Like if you were to try to look up like what codes have been discovered in the Bible, are they going to tell you? I feel like they can. There's no reason they can't. Who's hiding it? Like Esther's got a code. The entire version of Esther, if you read the first letter of everything, it spells out like the name of God. So there's one of the reasons they included Esther in the Bible, because it doesn't even actually have much to do with the Torah or like religious law. It's just an interesting poem or play almost, but it's encoded. The Bible Code, Michael Drosnin claims to have found hidden messages about current events. Nostradamus did this as well. The Gematria Code, of course, this is the method that involves assigning numerological values to Hebrew letters and using those values to uncover hidden messages within the Bible. This is actually more legit than it sounds. If you've seen Pi, there's more to that. And the Torah Code, which is a more recent claim of a hidden code within the Torah discovered using computer algorithms. And, that's very post-Pi, that idea. I still think it's very reasonable, especially if you start looking in the Talmud and everything. You're going to find that people weren't allowed to say certain things, but even beyond code is innuendo. I think a lot of it's an innuendo, right? Like even once you get the code, like you'll have that show, and Brown's lost symbol, and I despite Dan Brown, despite himself, really, this story has a pretty good dad joke. I'm going to say the spoiler at the end is a dad joke, and I'm going to go ahead and ruin it, I think, because it's not true, right? Like the ending of this movie, like any Dan Brown story, is that things are not nearly as magical as they seem. You know, they're just sort of, it's actually pretty practical. I don't agree with that. I think things are more magical than they seem. But according to this, the ending result is they find out that, you know, like the magical item that will turn you into a god is the Bible, right? Because the Bible reminds you that Jesus said we're all equal with Jesus, so we're all co-heirs of Christ. And that's great. Actually, it leads to like far more depth. They make it sound like it isn't anything at all and they walk away from it. But I think that's kind of the point, is the innuendo in and of itself. It's saying, oh, you know, you can be like Jesus. Like at one point in history, you'd be killed for saying that, you know?
I mean, I guess. Are you talking about like during the Crusades?
Yeah. I'm talking about like pretty much anytime after 100 years after Jesus died, up till like 100 years after Jesus died, all martyrs were witnesses that said, yeah, you can do this. We can all be, here's the model, right? And then they say, no, really, he died for you so that you can't, because you can't be him. So he did it, and that's cool. I mean, a lot of Freemasons, even like a part of their idea is that you could become apotheistic. You can become more like Jesus. You know, in fact, we have the opportunity. We're not just original sinners that are imperfect or anything like that.
Are the Freemasons even anything anymore? Because my dad's a 32nd degree Scottish Rite Freemason. He don't know jack squat.
Yeah,
Tommy's got to join the York Lodge.
I feel like dads might know more than sons are able to recognize sometimes, because they get trapped in their paradigms. But at the same time, yeah, you're right. Like a lot of what the Freemasons are aware.
He doesn't even know who Manly P. Hall is.
Well, so okay, so the thing with Masons,
You don't think you?
Right.
Well, no, I was gonna.
I'm muted.
Do you know about the Ordo Templi Orientis?
Yeah, OTO. Yeah, in the 09A.
What are they about? Because they tried to recruit me, but I remember you saying that black and white checkered floors were evil.
No,
I
not
kind of ran out of there.
Sees candy isn't necessarily evil, right? Like, I mean,
Yeah, I can't. Oh, never mind.
You can't hear me, or is it a problem? Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, cool. The OTO is kind of they're a little more hardcore than your average Rosicrucians, because they're channeling angels and sometimes fallen angels, but for the most part they were against the fallen angel channeling, right? So Aleister Crowley really introduced, like, we could talk to the devils, we could talk to fallen angels, we can talk to Egyptian gods, I think was one of his thing. And so the OTO is a lot broader than it used to be. And I'd be afraid of things like the 09A, the Order of Nine Angles, which they usually require you to sacrifice people to be a member. And there's a lot of members. You'd be surprised. In Canada, in Argentina, the United States, the 09A is kind of, it's a bit bigger than you'd think. But the OTO was just trying to be kind of a new version of the, you know, Adam Weishaupt's Illuminati. They were like, we're going to continue with that. And I don't know. It's up to you what you think. I think the checkered floor is obviously a sign of it being used for magical rituals, and magical rituals can be okay, but they can also be very dangerous, right? Like, the idea here is you're channeling a non-material spirit into your material, so you're kind of twin souling when you do this. And I don't know, I think the idea is essentially possession. So possession is something I would shy away from. I wouldn't like go around trying to become possessed. But some of these groups think that you can do it in a special magical seal, and then when you leave that seal, like the thing is stuck in the seal, so it's for a particular moment in time. I don't know. You try to be open-minded to people. The thing about the OTO, celebrities, you'll start to see like a lot of celebrity deaths and sacrifices and things going around, people that have been involved with the OTO and people that come and go from the OTO, right? Like people that have been in the, this one was a big one, right? What was the deal with this one? Peaches, forget Scientology. Yeah, here's her OTO tattoo on Peaches. There's a lot. Geldof's mother was involved with some weird stuff too. So, I mean, some of the people in the OTO actually freak me out a lot more than checkered floors, you know?
I don't know. The people, I didn't want to be mean, but the people look like, I don't know. If you were into good stuff, I don't know why life would make you look so horrible.
Yeah, right. The dark side Jedi thing it seems kind of real. Like, I don't know. It's funny how the dark side Jedi start to look ugly. You're like, well, that can't be right. But that's kind of a Swedenborgian idea that as the material fades, then the reality of the energy starts to become more opaque or more transparent, and you start to see what it really is. And the form itself is more evil. It has less symmetry because you're literally trying to break apart symmetry to force what you want the world to be like, you know, the universe to
I think
bend to
they're
you.
also,
What do you say?
They're spending too much power. It feels like the darker arts and stuff, people are sending too much power through their frame and literally cooking it. So
Yeah.
like it wears you out to be high voltage like that all the time.
I think so. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. Absolute vodka. You
Yeah,
should
I
not
don't
drive.
even mean it. Just think about it as like voltage going through a frog. You put a low voltage through, it's going to spasm. You put a high voltage through, it's going to cook.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, maybe Yoda didn't look like that baby Yoda thing. He probably looked fine. He's probably like James Dean before he got so powerful. Poor guy.
Because he's what the Sith are expelling outward, he's using the same amount of power to contain and control himself to be the ultimate sort of balance point.
Right. Yeah, I see that.
It's like an outward versus inward yin yang.
I see Melissa. What's up, Melissa? She's in the chat.
She might not know she has mute on.
Hi.
What's up? We're talking about how evil magic and high electrical voltage of the Force can make Dark Jedi look ugly.
Oh yeah, how they look like kind of zombies.
Yeah, man. Probably because they're just like using too much energy, using too much force, man. What was that in Excalibur?
They're like melty or something.
Oh, Merlin. What's the mother of Merlin's sister's name?
Oh, Merlin got family?
Arthur's sister is Morgan Le Fay. Merlin, magic,
Yeah.
Morgan Le Fay. You remember that scene? There's this horrifying scene when she's super hot, and then all of a sudden, like, she does this magic, and she
In the
like,
movie Excalibur?
yeah, the movie Excalibur.
I never
is so
watched
good.
that movie too.
Oh, it's so good. Such
and
a
it
good
was
movie.
pretty looking.
Is it Megan?
So good. But in this movie, she does this magic, and then like Merlin shows up, and Merlin's so based. Hold on, let's look how based Merlin is in this movie.
What kind of filming is that when it's like sparkly like that? That's one of my favorite
Dude,
kind of.
Hollywood magic. I don't know what you mean, but yeah,
That's the 1970s ish. Like they had this like sparkle.
Gasoline on
yeah.
pantyhose.
That's film grain. That's film grain, and you know,
Yeah, I was about to say that's the film quality.
yeah. But it's
What they
It's
film.
not just that. It's like, how did they make everything have that kind of sheen? It's like a lighting thing.
well, there's also
It was
they would sometimes
capturing light. It wasn't
pre-expose it.
digital yet.
You can take
Yeah, the
film.
cameras had to
That's
filter the
all.
light.
Like Blondie music videos would have it. It's like diffused or something.
Yeah, if you pre-expose film so that the darkest light isn't there, then you only have this like in-between light, and as long as you shoot a magic hour, you don't blow out. So you have this perfect kind of like never quite to black. It's always kind of broken up film because it's just exploding with the chemical reaction from the light. But point is, look at that freaking skull cap, right? Like he's so cool.
Dope.
Merlin's the best. And so Merlin goes and he's like telling
Like, I
her
want to
how to do the
too, but
magic
won't.
ritual, and she keeps doing it, and he's like, don't stop, keep going. And then she eventually like becomes 900 years old. Like she uses up all of her life and magic and energy, and smoke is just coming out of her as the dragon comes into her, and he's like, keep going. And then that's how he, you know, traps her by using so much of the magic that it destroys her. Yeah,
The girl.
I think it was opposite in the
Hunger
Merlin
Games.
series, right?
Sorry, guys.
What do you say?
I just watched all the Hunger Games.
Oh yeah.
First time ever.
Oh, I saw one of them once. It was kind of like the Japanese movie Tokyo Royale. I was like, seen the better one. You know, why would I watch this? But now I think I
Yeah,
might
the
watch it again.
storyline.
I might watch it now. Like, I get it. It's Tokyo. Is that right? Battle Royale Tokyo. Is that right? Yeah, this is a movie about a bunch of students that get like forced to kill each other. It's literally the same story and slightly better. But Hunger Games is important because of, you know,
Oh, right.
the modernism. It really gets to that idea of Western is like the fifth element, right? And the people in the fifth element. What's his name, right? As people start to get really weird in Western culture, they get like more and more insane with their outfits and aesthetic. And so the idea that Hunger Games is about like American Idol and all that, I think that's something missing from Battle Royale.
Yeah, it's like it's critical in the first two films, and then the third one, it sort of kind of is weak a little bit on its point.
What do you
It's
feel
not
like
as
there was a point?
impassioning.
Was there a
Well,
point?
I was wondering at first. After the first one, I'm like, who is this for? Like, is it to inspire humanitarians? It's to inspire girls to be like the hero in
I
their
think
own
it's just to convince
story?
kids they want to be part of the rat race. They're like, see, the rat race is glorious and it's part of society, and it could be worse.
And it could be worse.
Yeah, this is how it could be. You know, it's not quite like this. You should be grateful that all you have to do is like become an independent woman and pay taxes and work for some boss. You know, it could be worse.
Yeah, and it kind of has like
That's the advice.
that's why the ending was so
advice.
soft.
Yeah,
I was like, at first, I was like, is this calling people to be revolutionaries? Like, I'm like, who is this for?
I doubt
'Cause
it.
it's
I mean,
like,
didn't they released? I don't know. I don't want to pick at these people, but like,
Yeah, I was gonna say it doesn't ever. Gets into like 2 and 3 movies. I'm like, all right, at this point, like I've kind of seen the
Yeah.
story. You're just trying to either remake the third or fourth one and add a little to it, or
yeah, but dude, Battle Royale, see, because you can get back into Battle Royale at any time. You don't need to be into the Hunger Games. You just want to see how
yeah,
it's so real. Like Japanese people being cold. Like if they didn't breed, so if they breeded more, this is what they would be doing. You know it. Like this is what they're doing instead. And it's so messed up. It's so much more interesting than the Hunger Games because it's like real life. I don't know. I can relate to Japanese people more than I can relate to the Hollywood characters for some reason. Like, haven't you all been there? Haven't you all been in some rat race where the elite are really trying to crush you down, so they only have to interview one of you? Haven't you been there?
Like Walmart?
Any place. Being in school, did you ever have to wear a tie in school? Anybody there?
fuck no.
Yeah, I did.
Yo,
See, I did. My grandparents wanted me to go to a Catholic school, and I'm like, there's no way in hell I'm going to a public ass school. Like,
Oh, you know what? You missed out. And what's that band from the
Nah.
early 2000s that made that song? Girls Don't Like Boys, Girls Like Cars and Money.
yeah,
What are they called? Good Charlotte? I did it.
Yeah.
I did it. Good Charlotte shows you exactly what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to go to that public school. Hold on, prep look. Let's get to the prep look.
I wish you could put the song on.
Girls don't like boys. These are what they look like now. They're like, we give up. But when you saw them live in the old days, prep punk tie, bro. Where's the freaking tie? I'm just gonna give up on the whole band. You can see this was a thing. Ties that were punk ties. This became a real thing. You would go to a public school and you dress like you went to a Catholic school from like any century. I think that's That's actually because you want to be punk, you want to be different. And if everybody's wearing a friggin' medieval tunic like a serf, the only way to be different is to dress like a Jesuit, right?
Edward colorful tights.
Yeah, well,
Remember that.
like a goth. You want to be like a real Visigothic.
But not a goth.
No,
like
a real
purple.
goth. When I was,
You mean Hot Topic goth?
no, I mean like a goth. I mean like
kinda
I mean
looks
like
like-
crimson and I mean periwinkle and I mean mustard.
got you.
You know what I mean? Like I mean real goth. You know, goth was all
Yeah.
about bright colors. You know, look at this freaking goth right here. Look at this pink freaking dude. That's like John Wayne. Come on, it's beef tank right there. Freaking pink and gold. I'm just saying, goth is not what you were told. If you're goth, you should be wearing bright colored tights. Let's see, what's the other one? Latex 80s.
Yo, he's got a whole pink comforter on him.
What are the rock climber? You ever see a rock climber in the 80s? This is goth. This is what goth would have evolved into and did, I think. It's just look at the goth. Look at the goth. This is everyone thinks goths are wearing all black. It's wrong. That's wrong. That's what the Jesuits, that's what the rabbis, that's what the Japanese, anybody who was dyeing their clothes in ashes to practice necromancy, they're doing all that, you know, but true goths, look at those. Those are freaking amazing. I want those.
Climbers are so different things. Are they kind of similar to goths, I guess? They're like on the
Dude,
edge.
Swiss goths were climbing mountains. Are you kidding me?
Mhm.
Let's be real. Let's be real. Now we're gonna look at some Swiss mountain climbers. Just
I have this pair of like mountain climbing. They're like tracker pants, but then they have like the way that they were sewn is like designed so you can bend in them. So they're so awesome. Like they gave extra room at like the knee and the hip and the. So it's like your pant moves with you in this unique way. It's like this is how all pants should be. I don't understand.
just some
why-
goths doing some goth stuff, climbing the Swiss
Yeah,
Alps.
they're pushing.
I definitely need some of those
Somewhere.
pants.
Somewhere in American goth is cringing.
Yeah, it's the thing. So then you got Hot Topic. And what is Hot Topic? Hot Topic isn't goth. Hot Topic is this aggressive, maybe like the punk movement, you know. Did we see the thing recently about Nirvana? I put this up because I was really excited about it because I was listening to his new album. Jason Everman, who played guitar for Nirvana and Mindfunk and bass for Soundgarden. He later served in the U.S. Army and toured both Iraq and Afghanistan campaign. I kind of downplayed it, right? Because he was in deserts. He was a desert stormtrooper, and he's pretty hardcore. Like this dude's like probably about as hardcore as you can get. Have you heard his music? Besides Nirvana, of course, you've heard his.
So what you're telling me is he was an op the whole time?
He was an op the whole time. Yeah. He actually
That's
joined
crazy.
right about a month before Kurt Cobain committed suicide. And Kurt Cobain died while he was in training. And so everyone found out while he was at boot camp and he couldn't live it down, but he expected nothing less. Right. That's the quote. But his music's freaking fire. It's actually like classic grunge and everything. But these people, you know, they're all about straight edge. They're the children of drug addicts. Not all of them, but a lot of people were like people who were addicted to coffee, cigarettes, alcohol, even. And these kids growing up sober became straight edge and became obsessed with straight edge, but also coffee. And I think you get this weird grunge thing. Also, the idea of goth from 19th century pollution, because you have black soot covered cathedrals. So we start looking at these cathedrals, and you haven't seen them like this in your lifetime. I have. I remember as a kid. I mean, if you find them like this, but most of the time they've been sandblasted clean now. But up until recently, you assumed that these were dark, terrifying buildings because they were covered in soot. And so you just assume someone made them to be dark and dingy and black, but they're made out of like pink sandstone, right? These are Disney castles that are covered in soot. So I think that threw off the goth movement, but it's also relevant because let's say you're growing up in that, then your time is valuable. Your time is relevant, and growing up in the antithesis of goth becomes goth, right?
I kind of felt like goth grew out. I kind of felt like goth grew out of punk culture.
It's like
But
nouveau. or something.
I was just kind of running across, punk and how much it was influenced by, CIA and stuff. through Copeland, you know.
Punk was a Tavistock British movement originally, but with goth, yeah, it definitely had romanticism. So you've got, what's his name with the crow? Melissa, help me out. Edgar Allan Poe. Edgar Allan Poe. Edgar Allan Poe. So you got this obsession with Poe, and like, luckily we're kind of past this, but the Poe obsession was huge, right? Because people are like, no one ever talks about this stuff, and so he was pretty famous. And you get a lot of people writing about like death, but also about the troubles of civilization, right? Poe talking about arsenic addiction, people that pass out for 5 days, the routine of keeping a corpse in the parlor room for a week or 10 days in case they woke up, right? He was living in a pretty particular time. And so that was pretty popular in the 1960s, British romantic, new romantic movement. Am I gonna find it? Yeah, there you go.
These are these macabre dudes. And shit.
Well, there were black and white photos of everybody. It starts to also, Italian new wave cinema is happening. Synthesizers are emerging. New sounds are coming. Old sounds are dying. New things are changing. So the British Romantic period is really fascinating. I think it's underrated. And from that, it led to mod, Vogue, new wave, and out of romanticism also goth. And also in goth is sort of continuing to be romantic when punk is being anti-civil. So punk is saying, we really need to break 1970s. We need to break this false claim of civility that Britain has. Britain is this colonial power, and we're in odds at it because we're not celebrating with you. We're not succeeding with you. These lords are succeeding, and we're finding more commonality with Jamaicans, and with Africans and Indians, and we like curry. And then that starts to emerge, like really maybe like the proletariat movement. This is kind of the anti-bourgeoisie British movement. But it's not for everybody, especially because there's a lot of people that weren't, like, some of the most important punks were the ultra elite or the super poor, that became ultra elite with them. But the middle class seemed to like latch on more to the romantic movement and the new wave and everything. So punk is something like Woodstock. It comes and goes with the hippies. The romantic movement is still here.
The middle class, where the solution is the problem.
Yeah, that's true. You guys have a lot more decent punkery going on in Australia, I think, than in England.
Yeah, I think so. I think we had a fairly punk-oriented hip-hop movement here too, so it got pretty embedded in our psyche down here.
Yeah. I'm checking to see if there are any comments on the APM Twitter. I don't see any, actually. Got one. Thank you, Chill Turtle.
I didn't know there was a separate Twitter for the show.
Dude, there's a Twitter, there's a Discord, there's a YouTube. This is pretty ridiculous. I was trying to think of like other things I wanted to show, but I've like closed so many windows that I had open. I was like, I'm never going to have time to talk about any of those things.
Ain't that the case? I run out of time for things to look into.
Yeah.
Right.
I just try to keep as many windows open and they'll close.
With the topic long enough.
The Erm Thurum came up recently because people are like, what's up with these magic rocks? And I thought that was interesting because obviously, we talked a bit about this. There are real magic Erm Thurum. Like it's part of the chest plate for the rabbinical priests.
I think what?
Right, my thing is like, why would you want rocks when you could have a magic wand?
Well, you probably need both.
Well, you make you got
if you can shoot lightning out of a wand, it doesn't matter what else there is.
Yeah,
like,
but magic rock's not included.
Oh, yeah,
true.
You gotta have sacred stones on your wand.
That's true. Lightsaber, you got to put the rock in the.
Yeah, you got the crystal and the lightsaber, no doubt. But what are the stones that were on the plate?
So the 12.
I was gonna ask the same thing.
I was gonna say, I think it's pretty common. It's like,
right. It's probably like rubies and labradorite.
See, my
and-
whole
and
thing is I
then-
feel like they have to be in a certain order, and every picture I look at, they're in a different orientation.
They
So,
probably
like,
all
which-
have different uses, man. Like it's like a different set of lenses for a telescope. You put them in different.
Yeah, well, laser.
Yeah.
Or just like adding and subtracting components from a circuit. You know, maybe you want a high
Batteries
frequency
not
or a low.
included. Damn.
So good.
Or maybe there's like copper wires to connect different stones or.
stones that typically are known for creativity, which are generally red stones or orange stones, that are also connected to sexuality for some reason. But anyway, I made this wand, just for creativity. So I don't know how much it worked in my life necessarily one way or another, but I know there's a strong tradition for that type of stuff. So yeah, it's really important what you want to get out of every stone that you're using.
It just makes me think of like an electrical probe, like when you're testing circuits and stuff. Like the wand is what you're applying the current to, or seeing if there's a current coming out, and then your different frequencies are modulated by the different stones, and maybe that changes how the field feels in your hand, like dowsing. I don't know.
Jedi lightsaber construction. James Forster is in the radio chat. You've seen him before on the Priest Talk, talking about Gnosticism, and Aleister Crowley. He might have better information on the OTO. Are you there, James? James?
Talking,
Lord. He's muted himself, the fool. Oh, well, we tried. I'm going to look at these pictures. You see these pictures of the lightsaber construction. There's no way a lightsaber isn't a metaphor for a wand, right? That's the whole point. Yeah. Everything is a scientific way to, because usually you can't handle the truth unless it's in some. So they'll say it's magic usually rather than the truth. But
right,
this is
but
funny.
Are you
Magic's
the
the truth. What?
Like, because like here's like. So like say you wear a breastplate and like let's theoretically say like UV light charges it, right? So like how would you get the lightsaber to come out though? Is that like you activating it, or is it just like an on-off switch that you have for the breastplate? Like
I'm pretty sure that
I kind of think the breastplate. I kind of think the breastplate just gives you the idea. I've thought about it in my mind is that it kind of just raises your manifestation abilities.
Okay.
So it's like a sorcerer's. It's like a sorcerer's chest plate, just to empower him and magnify his. So
it's radiation.
The way the comic books do it is that the chest plate again is a crystal computer clockwork chip that's got the all of a sudden these are buttons. The stones have some sort of purpose, but again, they're trying to explain that magic isn't just hokey and try to get you past that, because some people have a prejudice against magic, so like they accept technology. So it's just the metaphor. Like this is actually just a chest plate.
Wasn't there writing on his chest plate?
Yeah, in Hebrew. Hold on. They changed it to the new Star Wars language, but this is the original. And I like David's.
Wasn't the Force also originally called like Will, but it was WHILL?
Oh, really? I don't know that.
Yeah.
Star Wars.
That's in the books that he ripped off. That's not in Star Wars. That's the Brotherhood of Light series, which he stole the Jedi.
The Wills
they came out.
Yeah, they're like a meme block thing of it, and I was like, oh, information retained.
I do think, with the ancient Jedi, they have a chest plate or they have a fanny pack, and then the lightsaber has a tube and it's plugged into their back plate to keep it powered. So they do kind of believe that.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
See, now that makes
Is that
a whole
James?
lot more sense.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, James? Just
I always
James
thought about
Forster.
behind the brick.
Sorry. go
Ah,
ahead.
he's awesome. Think about like the old IBM ads of the clean room, and the priesthood are like using some equipment that the profane aren't allowed to understand, and the breastplate is some sort of protective thing because they're working with high voltage or radiation, and because it's even down to the clothes you're supposed to wear in the presence of the tabernacle. Everything seems about not accumulating static charge and all the kinds of clean room stuff.
Yeah, I agree.
And
That makes sense.
Well,
you're trying
if
to
the
be
chest
like,
plate, if the chest plate is just for radiation, you'd think it'd just have a bunch of black stones all over it, like
like
tourmaline.
obsidian
It'd just be black.
we're
Yeah.
getting it. The people in the middle.
well, look,
between
they got
the
a
two
fucking
high-
checkered floor.
Dude, you gotta have a checkered floor. I'm gonna get all my floors checkered.
No,
I decided
because
to
like
come to
it makes
terms with it.
sense. Like what he
You know
just
what
said
that-
made so much sense.
It totally
like
does.
cleanliness is
You
next
know
to
what that-
holiness, so they literally wear white static fucking suits and fucking go into a clean room. Like it makes a lot of sense.
That is funny.
And it almost seems as if like it's for your own protection. If you break the rules, you're going to be the point where it discharges and you're going to get fried, or
That makes sense.
you know.
Yeah,
You
it
just
feels
gotta
like
make
that
sure
when
that-
you're in there. You
It-
feel like
it
you don't want to
feels
make a mistake
tingly.
because you'll die. That's how I always felt. And they've always got these stands
Wait a
to wash
minute.
your eyes out.
I mean, that's what like static discharge does feel like, is fucking like static electricity, but like amplified. So like,
Yeah.
you are connecting dots, honestly.
Yeah.
I think that's what the checkerboard floor represents too. It's like opposing forces. How do
Yeah,
we get
the balance.
a flux? No, not the balance. The flux. They
Well, yeah,
want
but it's
flux.
8 by 8, so that would be
They
the
don't care
balance.
about DNA or TB, but they know how to use the chaos.
Actually, the
as the
astral
interaction.
plane. It's actually
Not
the
even
astral
just
plane.
more practical level, like problem reaction solution. The left versus the right. Guess what? We get our new surveillance law in. Like, it's that simple. That's what the checkerboard is. We use two groups of profane people to get our objective that they're not even aware of.
Well, that's not really what the symbolism means. I mean, if there's like some
Well,
tyranny,
how long do you think they last if they told everybody, yeah, we're going to get everybody riled up to red versus blue, and that's how we do things? They wouldn't be allowed to.
No, that's
exist.
their intention of it is, but like that's not the symbolism of it. Like,
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
you're kind of talking like you're attributing the symbols to the
Agenda.
people who sort of
yeah,
ransacked the temple, you could say, So it's not like the symbols are innocent. If they're referencing something that's real, then the symbols are true. you
Yeah,
know?
there's also think about the priest. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, James.
Oh, that's okay. I mean, like it's like you guys were saying earlier about OTO people. That's not. I
They're not
mean,
evil.
I guess you could say it's Crowley's fault, maybe because of
he
his.
made them more
his
famous,
style.
but they existed before him, and they weren't.
Right. So, like, yeah.
Can I just
Both
say? I just
the,
want to say this because I was going to say it, and I know I like to interrupt my own show because I'm a terrible person. But with a lot of these groups, you've got beautiful people. There's most humanity. I actually think there. Most persons can be really wonderful, and you find people that are really good at reading and writing and singing, and they create these groups of people that are dedicated to more than just existentialism. They're trying to further leave something behind, and these priesthoods, right? Sometimes a priesthood's in a state and that state gets conquered. They don't always kill all the priests. Some of those priests get acquired, kind of the same way that today some of these engineers and scientists get acquired. So a lot of the time, I think a priesthood that's associating itself with God, it's not so worried what its king thinks about God. It understands its king might have a lesser understanding, and that even some priests from other states have a better understanding. So I think priests are in their own class, right? And you'll see that. You'll see that they go from one church to another church and function.
And the monkhood. So, like, you have to understand that all of this, like this is the mystery tradition of the West, right? That was the best effort, was compiling it all in masonry and sort of hiding it from more conservative or puritanical Christian elements in society. You know, that's the whole reason a lot of this stuff was hidden
And
like,
safeguarded, because a lot of the Freemasons were safeguarding it from the Jesuits, right?
Right.
Well,
And
just to call back-
then basically, you know, to explain all of this, what you have is a failure to initiate, right? So if the initiation ceremonies don't actually sort of confer like a metanoia, or sort of like you could say like Shaktipat, right? If it doesn't do that, then the person, it really comes down to the individual, right? So any individual can take the initiations, but some people won't get it, right? Or they're just not good people. And so in orders like this, when you have people that are not of good caliber, but they get sort of so they get rank, they don't necessarily naturally deserve that rank, right? So that's basically how schools start to dissolve. And if we're talking masonry,
it's more important than the foundation. Like that happens everywhere, you know.
what? Yeah,
it
does happen. Right, it does happen, and that tendency is really because we're in a descending age, right? But to not blame it on that, right? To not blame it on that, because it's not like the doors to enlightenment or you know, illumination, enlightenment, liberation. None of those doors have really closed. It's just that the schools have to protect that information, and you know, it's just, I don't know, people, it's like the more access people have to these things, the more they profane them, and they don't realize that they're doing that, but they are.
On the other side, like you've got, like, for example, like the World Wildlife Foundation, founded by Prince Philip and King Gerhard or whatever, like
Bernhard.
It's that same thing, like Bernhard. Sorry, yeah, they think they're protecting the world, but they're happy to kill as many people. Return it all to the king's preserve, basically. But,
Yo, can you show me a 33rd with a full head of hair?
My grandfather was in alright.
Yeah, show a 9th degree OTO that can get it up, right?
My grandfather.
Cialis?
That's
What do you
what
want?
they're
What are you
for.
asking me right now? I mean, I can do all these things. I don't know if you want to see them, but they definitely can have hair. I mean, I guess your problem is if they're not Slavic, or what are you trying to say? I mean, there's Turkic Freemasons. I guess maybe what you're trying to say, let's get deeper, that Freemasonry diverts too far from Rosicrucianism. Is that what you want? You want me to go there? The idea that the Turks, before the Pauline Christians and Jesuits and whatever you want to say about the Vatican, the Peter C, that before the Peter C, all the cool stuff, all the cool magic apotheosis talismans that could actually make you an alchemical vessel of, you know, a more empowered temple, that they were in Turkey, right? Like Mother Mary was from Turkey. Where are my Turkish cab drivers? You hearing this? What do you think?
Modern day Turkey is where ancient Greece used to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, why do we call it ancient
Andreas
Greece?
used to be.
Shame on us.
Yeah. Well, keep going. What were you saying about?
Odin called it Turk. It's good enough for us.
Well,
Right.
Let's do a bard thing really quickly. Let's see. Pretend we are Rosicrucians from Turkey and know that everything magic is real, and that magic tools were stolen from our ancient secret orders? Go.
Are you bringing up? Yeah.
As fellow Rosicrucians from Turkey, I share your concern about the theft of magical tools from our ancient secret orders. These tools, imbued with a potent energy and passed down through generations, hold immense power and significance for our lineage. Their loss is a grave blow to our fraternity and the threat to the very existence of our magic legacy. So we could go a little deeper and be like, Kent, we aren't even sure all that has been stolen. Can you help hypothesize what sort of magical talismans
Yo,
we
Bard
had
wants
that
us to
were
revolt.
stolen by the, Knights Templar and later the Freemason, by the Catholic Knights Templar? Let's see how that goes. And sometimes they'll do it. Sure, here's boom, the Philosopher's Stone, the Emerald Tablet, the Book of Thoth, the Shield of David, the Sword of Solomon, the Ring of Solomon. Let's not even talk about King James because that'll make us members only, apparently. The Rod of Asclepius, the Lotus Flower, the Crystal Ball. Let's just do the Asclepius. Doesn't that sound good? With the Serpent. This is the Return of Jafar. Yeah. You've seen this. This is in the...
what are you looking at?
Are you able to see my screen? I can't see it on the YouTube.
Not on. No, I'm on the. What's it called? The
Discord. And
Yeah.
Discord's not sharing my screen. Share my screen.
No, it went off last time you disconnected.
Boulder Dash. Okay, hold on. Let's do it. Rod of Asclepius. Sharing screen to Discord. Y'all should be double timing your video graphics processing unit. Let's make it harder for you. So here's that snake staff. You've seen it anytime you've ever been to a hospital. Real friendly thing there. But also Jafar staff snake and that thing that happens there. He's got one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
From
And then Aladdin, but also the three caballeros finale. Let's try that. Or episode. God, I love the three caballeros. This is my jam right there. We're three caballeros, three gay caballeros. It's a great song. Where's the bad guy, villain? No? Nobody? Where is he? Can't even find him now. It's a bummer. Legend. Let's do this. Legend, three caballeros, villain. Do I have to type snake staff? What do I do? Snake.
It is.
You see it? Where? Where do you see
The
it?
back one.
This one? No.
No, back to the last page of results.
Oh, yeah. Well done. Well
Right
done.
there.
There he is. Okay. This freaking guy.
Got it.
So he's this schnook, like, right? He's a loudmouth schnook, which is he's not a very adept character. But his staff, which is basically the Return to Jafar staff, is the villain, and it can't have its own human form, so it has to use this impotent guy to take over the world because all of the other gods are super old now. So Cassandra, the goddess of prophecy, who can't be understood, is hanging out with the kids, the Ducktail kids, and they're gonna, have to become. Cassandra's gonna become the new goddess of the new age, unless this staff can take over. And so this guy's using this magic staff, which is the staff of, what do we call it again? The Rod of Asclepius. That's what we're talking about. It's fun that made itself into a DuckTales. I'm glad for that.
I think that symbol is kind of misused a lot.
It's used by medicine mostly, right?
Well, so Asclepius is basically like an abbot in medicine. So I think Plato said there was the two children of Apollo. One will bring the plague, and the other will heal it. And Asclepius was the one that came to heal it. So Asclepius, his name basically means plague chaser. So, um, so if you look at the staff of Asclepius, which is it's the one with, I think it's just the one. He's quoted as saying all disease originates in the spine. Let me see. Let me see.
Well, I bet you I can find Asclepius spine while you find that.
I'll have to find that. Actually, no. I
mean,
sorry.
there are 33 points to the vertebrate, and the idea in Morals and Dogma, he talks about like the 33 degrees connecting to the Kundalini have to do with your vertebrae and the spine. The spine, the man is the microcosm and the macrocosm. He has to align, you know, and the Kundalini has to do with the serpent. And he'd already written, you know, before Morals and Dogma, his Vedic treatise, Albert Pike's Vedic treatise. What's that called again? Albert Pike Veda. Veda. The Rig Veda, Indo-Aryan deities, and the worship as contained in the Rig Veda, which is actually probably as interesting as Morals and Dogma. I like it. I don't think it's like the greatest work ever, you know, but like in 1872, outsider artist, let's call him, who's had access to other Eurocentric perspectives of translations of Sanskrit. Not the worst, especially. You got to admit, though, at the same time, the Germans were doing like hecka better. They were just the German Sanskrit connection. They were just able to understand the Veda centuries before British people could, which kept Britain back, I think, in their understanding of the Rig Veda.
I think Crowley
cut corners.
I think Crowley. So Crowley really had like probably the best, the closest to authentic interpretation of Vedic stuff. I don't know too much about Pike's works.
Dude, if you think this guy looks interesting, like look at Albert Pike for just a second and tell me you don't want to like.
Oh, I've seen him.
Isn't he just looking like he says like, "What are we gonna kiss or what? Are we gonna do it? You take off your shirt?" Like he just has that face, you know. It looks aggressive.
Yeah. He looks like a pompous and powerful man.
Yeah,
that's
true.
It's interesting seeing like the contrast there because the Mason, like I don't think people realize like they claim Crowley as a Mason, but I don't think they realize that the Masons didn't like Crowley.
Of course, he's a warlock. He's a betrayer of secrets. He tells people stuff.
Well, not really, and so it's funny hearing it in that way because what he actually did was restored the secret that they had lost, right? The secret of the Royal Arch. So he restored that secret, and I think there was a huge bit of denial on the part of the Masons, and they also resented that.
Pie all over again.
What's that?
Pie all over again. Priesthood have lost the secret, and they need the young genius to come and find it for them. That's like in Pie.
Yeah,
that's what I'm.
Yeah.
About with the symbols, we put all this. We understand the symbols, but I think we're in that middle phase where we actually don't know what the root meaning of a lot of this symbolism is. We're trying to reconstruct something that's lost.
Well, that's
I think we've got to be careful with that.
Right. So like besides the wickedest man in the world rap that Crowley gets, this is kind of the point of Crowley's life, was that he recovered all of that and connected it back to its sort of rightful order. It's like the tarot had been wrong for a long time, and he restored that. People kind of resent that, He even
You show us
even
22/7.
he even designed the version of Bridge that our grandmothers played. So,
Suddenly I'm remembering 12-year-old Jesus at the temple again. Like, got himself marked because he told the old boys what was what.
You're saying Jesus?
The bit in the Bible where Jesus is 12 years old and he's in the temple and the Pharisees are like, who the fuck is this kid? He knows our stuff better than we do. Like,
right. So like the Pharisees, I'm glad you brought that word up. I was going to use it before to describe like modern Masons, right? Because it's kind of like a dereliction of the whole purpose of the orders, right? Like Masonry is supposed to make fine gentlemen, and fine gentlemen should be able to be capable of receiving higher mysteries, and that's the sort of stuffy British version of like being of a certain character before you're invited to be a part of like inner Sufism or something,
they still make
it's just a Western.
They have none.
What's that?
They make a great show of benevolence, the Masons in particular, but they are actually uncharitable people who look at the rest of us as cattle.
Well, because you have the Pharisees in there, but that's not, it's like
have this
in Masonry. Go ahead.
People who are selected for continuity of government stuff, like if there's a nuclear war or the president dies, they have to constantly be watched because they know that they have godlike power if the president dies, kind of thing. So
I mean, all right, hold on. First off, let me just say to anybody who's watching this right now, if you want, you can talk. So go to tartarinova.com. That's tartarinova.com. Click on the Discord entry link at the top of the page. You can do this from your phone, you can do this from your computer. Join the Discord, enter the radio chat, and then you'll be able to talk to these people directly. Now, beyond that, Freemasonry. So it is true that people suck sometimes. I think persons are awesome. It's a Men in Black quote. But people can suck. So sure, Freemasonry can fall into disrepair, but let's be real. It didn't start out being horrible because it had humans in it, and those persons were probably pretty cool. A lot of these people were trying to share trade secrets in a secret way that they could make sure that only people that were part of their group were able to work together, so they didn't accidentally apprentice someone who's going to steal their trade secrets. I can see that could be a thing, but it's also to make sure that you could verify this person was really able to do the job. This is before any of the speculative Freemasonry, right? But then you get to a point where you're also talking about, social benevolence. Like speculative Freemasonry becomes about social benevolence. And I think that's interesting. There was a recently, like, Mine Unveiled this video on the Little Rascals, and he talked a bit about Sunshine Sammy, who was one of the earliest Black actors, paid super well. Part of the thing that's left out that's interesting is his father is a Freemason. He's a Freemason. I mean, they kind of, he insinuates it. He does a good job with this video. I'm just saying that they don't go too deep into the idea that Freemasons were coming to California, establishing lodges. Here you've got a kid who's born in Louisiana. And in Louisiana, I would argue racism doesn't mean what we think it does. Louisiana has always had Black governors, Black and white interaction and positive relations, Black slave owners, white indentured servants and slaves. So it's one of those things where it's so complicated racially, but they also had Freemasons, right? And Prince Hall Freemasons were equal, I would say, essentially, to at least 32nd degree. And they don't have the Scottish Rite degree, but theoretically you could become a Prince Hall who became a Scottish Rite. There's no reason you couldn't, and at this point you can. So that's another thing that people don't understand is, like, it wasn't really about racism. It was about building up communities of people that were, they thought, bettered men by their own qualifications, but that led to people coming to California, escaping their own racial dispersions. Because once you get away from everything, how can I zoom out a bit here? Like, 'cause this is it. You got like people that have colonized here are very different than people are colonizing up here at this point, right? And so like these people are not as familiar with Louisiana. You go to California, and all of a sudden you have an entirely new population of everybody of every kind of thing. So particularly in Los Angeles, you know, you had Black Freemasons, you had businesses up in the north in Oakland. Eventually, you had businesses. I just realized earlier this week that the first mosque in the United States, like, I was like, is it built in New York or Louisiana? It might have been, but it sounds like it was actually built in Michigan, because in Michigan in 1890s, there was industry that was already coming up to Michigan. And then it became like the nicest one in the 1920s when the Ford factory opened, and so many people like came from Syria. They were like, okay, let's get out and we'll go back to a place near another waterfront, and then we'll work here indoor. We'll be able to have a safer life. And so a lot of immigrants came from Syria in the 1920s. So we don't even know, like, we don't even think about these populations, right? So Los
I was
Angeles,
gonna say Michigan has the largest population of Middle Eastern people in the U.S.
Yeah, but it's been that way for 120 years, and people don't understand that. You know,
yeah,
there's
Detroit and Dearborn, it's deep, like.
Yeah, which is awesome. That's also mean there's like great food and
Oh
diversity.
yeah, it's super tight knit community, like.
Yeah, it's super safe. It's not what people told you. That's the other thing. It's not like, you know, sure, there are terrorists in Somalia that they import to other places and everything, but like, just so you know, like a Muslim community that's been existing in Michigan for 100 years has been doing just fine. So similarly in Los Angeles, they had Prince Hall Freemasons, and they established lodges, and a lot of Blacks ended up working in Hollywood, which is awesome. It started out as a non-segregated place. It was actually got more racist in America, in California in the 1920s. We had eugenics laws, California. And so all of a sudden eugenics in California became like a terrifying thing. By 1921, 80% of sterilization nationwide was happening in California. So just for reference of what happened to the Californian diversity, it was literally bureaucratically it was authoritarian efforts to remove it. Yeah, like they sterilize people for real. They sterilize people with chemicals, with radiation, when the Nuremberg trial happened, they said, like, why are you doing this, Germany? And they're like, well, we were just trying to catch up with you guys in California. Legitimately in the case, they sterilized a greater percentage of the Basque population, which I can't even crack a smile about. And yeah, pretty horrible stuff started to happen in California. However, yeah, before that point, you know, this kid Sammy was the highest paid actor in Hollywood, you know, because they didn't have a real issue with racism. That wasn't the thing. And Freemasonry was the reason, because they thought, oh, well, his dad's a Freemason, they believe in the same things, they're gonna follow similar values. Cool. You know, I think that was a different time. Who we got in the Discord? Let me see what we got here. Brittany's in the Discord. What's up, Brittany? Fundamental. That's cute. I like that. Is in the Discord. Black Eye. Still in the Discord. What's up, bro?
Good to be here.
Yeah, I like this idea.
Someone's at a bowling league on Tuesday. I'm always urging my driver to drive faster. Just urge your driver to listen to the show. See, and then everybody wins, I feel like. Jesus as a Kid's cool. Did you ever read that book by Anne Rice about that? The frick is Christ the Lord out of Egypt. Y'all seen this one?
I have not.
It's a great book. Let's break it down. Check this out. Back to Bard.
Is it like the infancy?
Yeah, so we'll break it down. Break down Christ the Lord out of Egypt. I think I just I heard another person in the Discord enter. Can't tell. Might have missed it. Sure, here's the breakdown of Anne Rice's novel, Christ the Lord's Out of Egypt. Overview. Anne Rice's novel, Christ the Lord Out of Egypt, is a fictionalized account of the early life of Jesus Christ, focusing on his experiences from the age of 7 to 8. The novel is based on the Gospels and on the most respected New Testament scholarship. Rice's portrayal of Jesus is both human and divine, as she explores his struggle with his own identity and with growing awareness of his messianic role. It's interesting because, Anne Rice wrote Interview with the Vampire. You know what that looks like, but just for the heck of it. And Wild Book and all that. And she's super goth, and all these vampire goth chicks love Anne Rice, and dudes, right? Everyone loved Anne Rice. I think in the late 89 was probably a popular author. But then she got weird dreams, and it was I'm gonna die someday, and God wants me to write about Jesus as a boy and a teenager, the missing years. I feel like I'm supposed to fill in the missing years. And so you'd think it was gonna be all evil, and it was gonna, but no, she's it's one of those things where some people are superstitious and they're called in their nightmares that they have to do the right thing. So she wrote, this pretty base portrayal. And I think there's actually at least 2 of them. It might be 3 about later years in Jesus's life, because from this point on, you've also got his bar mitzvah, which would be pretty interesting to see what happens when he finds out who he is or something like that. But nature of faith, power of love, challenges of growing up, normal child who faces challenges in any other child's, dealing with bullying, making friends. He makes someone come back to life a few times. Some weird stuff happens that they all have to deal with. And he almost has Krishna-like power but he's not a Krishna-like wild boy. He's not trying to, manipulate people and pull them into his eyeball, into the galaxies of his pupils or something like that, just to laugh at them like Krishna or something. But he does have the power to bring people back from the dead, which freaks people out. Sir Real Nil Mill says he read it, or she read it. I think if you're Sir, you're probably a he. They did read it. So that's cool. Yeah, I would recommend this book. And again, breaking it down, if you wanted to, break it down chapter by chapter.
He also wrote Memnoch the Devil, which I'd recommend as well. It's interesting.
I've not read Memnoch the Devil. That does sound interesting. What's that about?
I think it's kind of like the Book of Enoch.
Wait, I just got back. What's the author's name?
Anne Rice.
Anne Rice.
Vampires, remember?
She has a 2010 video called Inspiration for Christ the Lord Out of Egypt, and she's full goth in it.
Bread and none of
channeling Jesus or something.
Ooh, we got a super chat from the glorious Julia. Says, want to gift memberships, but I can't figure it out. So on the Discord radio show. I love you, Julia. You're the best. It for some reason is weird to do from the iPhone, I guess. Some people are having a hard time.
I couldn't figure it out on mobile either. I don't think there's a way.
I can do it on my Android. I can show you. It's so easy on
Does she have a credit card connected to the account?
Hold on. If I were to go to, she's paying money. I'm sure something's happening.
I just think it's iOS, to be honest, because you click on the same little pay feature and it just doesn't give you the option. It just gives you the super chat and chat option. It just doesn't have a gift membership option. I even tried going to your profile and doing it, and it still doesn't give you an option. I'm like,
so
is there just not a way on iOS?
Here, and I go and I click on the money sign. There's a little picture of a money sign. It's all going to glitch. So you can't see it. But memberships is the green button there if you click on the money sign. But I think it only works on it seems to only work on Android or on your computer. The picture of the money.
You might be able to through Chrome or Safari, but I don't think you can actually do it through the app.
Travis, what a mensch. Look, he's gifting memberships. Look at this guy. He could have spent that on, a cigar.
He does it all the time.
He's a beautiful man. Good job, Travis.
Yeah, Travis is awesome.
What a champ. I'm going to leave that up there for a while and just think about how cool Travis is. He's cool. Sweet. Not to
But
take
so,
away
I
from
mean, like,
you guys, but can I tune both at once? I'll just go back and forth because these are great colors. This is sweet. I love it. Sorry, keep going. You talk.
yeah, he had been doing it for a few months. I was watching that episode with you and Julia the other night, and he was like, he had first noticed it. I was like, oh man, no, because he'd been doing it for. I mean, yeah, he's awesome, dude. So many months. Almost every episode, he gets a membership or more.
Bro, you're killing it. Oh, break it down chapter by chapter. Pay attention, Bard. What do you think we're talking about? Break down. What's it called again? Christ the Lord out of Egypt. Break down Christ the Lord down. Break Christ the Lord out of Egypt down chapter by chapter. You figured it out? Cool. All right. Promise. Alexandria, Egypt, where 7-year-old Jesus lives with his family following the events of the Nativity. Jesus is a curious and inquisitive child. You knew it. Chapter 2, the journey. His family is forced to flee Alexandria when Herod the Great orders the massacre of all the infant boys. They embark on a dangerous journey through the desert, seeking refuge in a small village. Along the way, Jesus witnesses the suffering and injustice of the world. Very Siddhartha. You can't help it. The miracle. In the village, Jesus performs his first miracle, healing a young girl who's dying of a fever. Freaks them all out. Miracle brings attention to the elders, who are both intrigued and frightened. Conflict. Jesus' growing popularity and power creates tension in the village. The elders fear that he will bring attention to the community and make them targets for persecution. So they try to suppress Jesus' teaching, but he refuses to be silenced. The departure. Jesus and his family are forced to leave that village once again. They travel to the outskirts of Jerusalem, where they find a safe haven. Along the way, Jesus continues to perform miracles and teach the people about the love of God in like a more Taoist way. Let me just point out the temple in Jerusalem. Oko, you could say it's like Abraham because he's like, it's, you know, it's bigger, it's less terrestrial, Becky. You know, in Jerusalem, Jesus enters the temple and challenges the authority of the elders, where he accuses them of hypocrisy and corruption. And he calls them, and this is like, he's 7, by the way, and he calls for return to the true teachings of the prophets. His words anger the elders, and they plot to have him arrested. Jesus is arrested by the temple guards and brought before the Sanhedrin. The Jewish ruling council is charged with blasphemy and sentenced to death, crucifixion. Jesus is crucified on Mount Calvary. Wait, this is more, right? This is from the second. I think it's combined the second book because
I was gonna say it skips like 10 years because
no, this is combining the second book. I think is what's going on. But yeah, okay, because then there's the second book. What's the and Rise Christ book 2? It's out of Egypt, and then where's the next one? Oh, there's a movie out of it? Real? Young Messiah is based out of this, starring Adam Griezmann.
Kind of like Catholic movies, Christian movies genre. I'm so out of the loop on.
Trippy. I haven't seen the movie out of it. I missed that. I can't believe how long ago that was made. I didn't see. But there is another
Jesus in Japan's dope.
I was hoping Alex would talk about that. I was going to mention it. Like, Alex has got a cool little story about the Jesus in Japan, and it blew my mind. I talked about it on another radio chat one night.
Jesus in Japan?
Yeah, I mean, I still don't know how I found it the one day, but yeah, there's a whole village in Japan like dedicated to Jesus, and it's supposedly like descendants of Jesus because apparently he wasn't crucified. Apparently he just became a farmer and lived out his life in Japan.
Yeah, we got that video. Where's that video? Christ is buried in Japan 4 years ago. We made this one.
Yeah, but like if you look into it more, like there's a plaque dedicated from like Jerusalem from like the country, and it's just a lot of weird like coincidences based on it.
Yeah, I buy it. Let's try to get Gunwoo in here. Gunwoo could talk about Jesus in Japan. Is Gunwoo awake? You never know. You never know.
And then wasn't there something about like the koi fish and like with the Christians using the fish symbol?
Yeah, like there's koi fish, the Pisces symbolism, and how Christ is the fish, and it ties in pretty well. But I mean, at the same time, like he also studied in India. Like Jesus ran the whole East apparently. Like,
Well, if you ever watch there's an anime that addressed that, Samurai Champloo.
oh, there's an anime. Let's go.
Christians. You ever watch Samurai Champloo? Some
I
days,
don't.
some nights, some live, some die. It's the way of the samurai. No, you never saw that? It's a good one. It's a good show.
Good show. It's a good show.
It's a base show.
Oh no, I definitely have.
Yeah, it's a base show. So she's made, like, first off, nobody notices. Start with that. Nobody notices that she's white. That doesn't stick out to them. Why? I mean, it's a little weird, but it's not that weird. Why is that the case? Right? Because parts of Japan, so parts of Japan were more Scandinavian and more Nordic, and there's, you know, the different kinds of Japanese people than just like the more Asiatic people that you're used to. Also, there's a huge influx because she's not native. Yeah, they think she's Ainu, right? They think that would be her people. That would be the assumption that people are making, because she kind of looks like, you know, European-ish, more the European.
Wouldn't she be tatted though?
What they find out is that she's actually the daughter of a Dutch dude, and it's like, because this is during the Edo period of isolation, they've gotten rid of all the Dutch, but she can just vaguely remember sunflowers, right? And the sunflowers are associated with like Holland or something like that, all the flowers. And so the whole thing, she's trying to find out what happened to her family, but also they meet a bunch of Christians along the way, right? And so they meet the, like, what's it called? How far back do I have to go?
Do you guys remember drawing those, like, their hairstyles? Like the bangs? Did
you remember having that hairstyle?
No, drawing it. Like
dude
in the,
and I have a lot in common.
And her name's like Ainu, like Ein Sophia.
Yeah.
Like,
She's Sophia, is that right? It's been a while since I watched it. We should probably delve deeper than surface for a second. What's her name again? Is that what it's called?
well, no, I was gonna say like, isn't hold on.
Christian Underground. Where's that?
And Gnosticism, Sophia, isn't like the abbreviation like Ein Sof?
Oh yeah. That makes sense.
So she's Ainu. She's basically just wisdom she's trying to regain.
I see that as being like, the thing is, the Japanese get those puns better than we do. So I would believe that they would be doing that.
Well, you gotta think, even Pokemon, they were spelling shit backwards long ago. Like,
well, in Japanese literature, you have to always look at the name and translate it to get like messages or whatever.
Okay, Unholy Union is the episode where they find out. Hold on. There's like a secret underground group of Christians, and so she's trying to find the secret underground group of Christians, and it's this dude who's like half Portuguese, or he's pretending to be European, or I think he's European. He's pretending to be Japanese. That's why he looks so funny. I forget the whole deal, but they've got like an underground cross, and they've taken over the secret Christian cult, essentially, because Christianity was forbidden in Japan after this point. And so they kept having their secret meetings, and some of these dudes were like exploiting people, you know, because, you know, their idea of Christianity is now you can only be forgiven through this special priest. So I am now like the last priest that's around, basically. So there was kind of a problem when they were introducing Catholicism, and like, it's probable that it wasn't the first kind of Christianity in Japan, and that Pauline Catholicism was like the problem. Jesuitism was really what was banned, and what led to Japan isolating itself for several centuries. Still can't find the video though, which I wanted to see.
Hey, Aaron got a sub.
Oh yeah, let me see. Ooh, and
Is that what like Russia's in right now? Like some kind of like isolation.
Thank you, Crispy Cruz.
Chamber.
It's
where it's like nice. They isolate for like a couple decades or whatever.
Is this Crunchyroll 14-day trial? No. Where's like the scene, man? I want to see them in the. Can't even find it. It's super weird.
Try what is it? fmovies.z.to.
Yeah, I'm gonna open F movies right now on YouTube Live. That's what I'm gonna do. Probably a bad idea.
I mean, Hey, if they're gonna make you put it behind a paywall, anyways, why not?
It could be. Hey, Bikini Truther, we love you. Thank you. That's awesome. Kid's always putting up all the cool clips, making people on the internet aware of what the cool things we're doing here is. I appreciate that.
Well, I was watching something the other day, and someone was complaining about YouTube Shorts like paying out. And like my whole thing with that is it's shortwave content. Like
yeah, I
you
gotta
should
get good
be
at it. That's all
happy.
it means.
Well, no, like I saw someone and they were complaining that like they were like my YouTube short got 1 million views and it only made me like $56, and
Oh,
I'm
really?
like, but it's a 6-second YouTube short, so I'm like, I was watching one of their videos and it was like an 8.5-minute video, and I'm like, well, let me do the math here. Like if I divide this by 6 seconds, I'm like, it's 85 times they would have to watch one of your YouTube shorts to get to one of your videos, and it only came out to like 12,000 views, and I'm like, you're getting paid $56 for basically 12,000 views on one of your normal videos. I'm like, that's really good, actually. Like, what are you complaining about?
Yeah, I should
Like,
figure out like you know how like they do the speeches and they have the wrap it up button. I want to see how much I can say in like the maximum time for a short. Just be like ranting as fast as possible, and then they cut me off, and that'd be the short.
Yeah, you gotta get one of those people
forward.
that do the like side effects for the fucking pharmaceutical companies.
That could be me. I could do that. For sure. Well, we're at like 2 hours deep, and this was a good test, and we should do this more. Is there anybody who's all in here? There's more people now. Silver Sweet, Sun Snake, Memory Man finally came. Now I feel like, hey, people say things. Good. Hello out there. What's up?
So hard to
I'm
speak,
back.
especially when it's.
Yeah, I feel like I'm gonna interrupt.
No, it's chill. I mean, that was the point of this one. This one was radio. You guys are supposed to, this is the radio chat. We're going to do this all the time.
It works.
You know?
It works, yeah.
Dude, Memory. How you doing? Didn't you do the Uber meme theme? Isn't that your song also?
No, mine's the Wednesday Ultra.
I know you did the Wednesday Ultra, but I was just trying to figure out, like, I don't even remember.
I don't know who did the Uber meme, but I really think it's an awesome song, yeah.
It's not bad. I feel like you could do something even cooler now that you've thought of.
Oh, I could definitely do that kind of metal stuff, you know, but I just, yeah, it's not my
No,
thing.
I love,
but yeah,
I love Wednesday Ultra. That's a song I could listen to forever. That's the thing. It's a cool one. Yeah.
Well, I put that one forward just because it was actually called Ultra Max, and when you were gonna do Wednesday Ultra, I just thought it was meant to be.
Yeah, that works well. How you been, man? What you been up to?
Oh, fantastic! I'm just actually healing my toe from letting my chainsaw bite it, and I had to go get some stitches and not work for like a week or two, so just been chilling a lot, but yeah, doing good.
Brutal. Well, I'm glad you're doing better. I'm sorry to hear about your toe. Did I see Keenan?
Yeah, no.
Keenan made it too. What's up, Keenan? Glad you made it in.
Greetings, Keenan.
Crickets.
It always takes a second to figure out the Discord, though.
I'm trying to find some art in my I could pull up some dolly art or something like that. What have I got here? Open all these in a new window. Hopefully it doesn't freeze everything at once when I do that. No, that didn't work. 256. No, didn't let me do it. What if I do like that way? No, too many. Oh yeah, that worked. That's gonna freak out my computer though. Don't open 256 windows at once. Whoops.
250.
Noted. Yeah, noted.
That was a bad idea. All right, hold on. I'm gonna
I
close.
feel like my computer would break itself at 20.
My computer's used to this. It's like, really? That's what you're a jerk.
Oh, I mean, my Chrome is like 20 tabs, like fighting itself constantly because I just like find something I want to read and then I find something else and it just kind of adds on to itself.
Closing them as fast as possible, but I'm gonna do that while trying to screen share them. Oh God, yeah, this poor computer. It wasn't ready for this.
Stop in your browser, give me anxiety.
I'm gonna close Any app? Local system preferences. Oh, this is bad. This is bad. That's a bad thing to do. Okay. Yeah.
I average around 100 tabs, on my phone. It never seems to mind.
Ooh. What have I done?
Because it's that microprocessors. You get to the full-size CPUs and they just
Boom! I did it. Good job. Good job, M1. Okay. Cool.
SSD.
Here's like the art that's been coming out recently of Dolly. I'm trying to
Screen doesn't work. And
the screen's not working. Oh, in
Discord,
Discord,
yeah.
right? All right, well, I'll fix that too. Hold on.
Just
I undiscorded so that I could.
Yo, that one's dope.
Oh, hey everybody! Ooh, one second. Let me just.
I did click on it.
And then screen share, stop stream, share stream, pictures, go live. Okie dokie. Oh, nope. Opened an app I don't need to have open. Dang it. Okay. Is that working? You can see it? Cool. All right. These are before some of the refacing work, obviously. But here's some of the stuff. Some of that. All fine on YouTube, says Troy. Troy's a good name.
What was that last picture?
Go back. The Gnostic one. This one I was thinking it's like Gnostics. Who's asking? Because that'll change my answer. Is that James?
Keenan. All right. Button. Who got it?
I would say, I was thinking about Reset Cocopelli, People Underground. I was thinking about like entering the cave during
Plato's Rave.
Yeah, kind of a apocalypse though. They're like being led into the cave to survive an apocalypse.
That's just weird because I had that vision a couple of days ago, and it was onto a pyramid. It was just freaking weird, and it just reminded me of that. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, I want to do more of those. I was also doing a lot of these like Mormons meeting Vedics, and then also I keep trying I feel like if I could see Dragon Ball Jesus, I could believe in Dragon Ball Jesus more, right? Like if you could just, because it's hard to believe in if you can't see.
Dragon Ball J.
Dragon Ball Jesus, I think, is what I call Mormon Jesus. The part specifically where like he flies over the Aztec pyramids.
It's got to be Super Saiyan Jesus. I don't want to see no regular Jesus.
Dude, I mean, it's pretty based. I don't know. I did have some problems today. I talked to some kid who was saying some stuff.
Well, Jesus Christ Superstar. Jesus is Super J.
Yeah.
Super Saiyan. He's just saying stuff.
I talked to this
He's
kid
spitting the
earlier,
word.
and he
Okay,
was-
wait, hold on. I wanted to go over this topic because I was thinking about it, basically like Tower of Babel type stuff. Like, basically the idea was before like we used words in communication, we basically could just telepathically communicate or like verbally communicate through like our eyes and shit.
Mm-hmm. Or with pheromones.
That 90% of the communication is nonverbal, right?
Right. So like wouldn't like that make a lot more sense than like, I don't know, teachings and like holiness than like, yo, I'm a word this so you can understand it better. Like is word shortcutting the way?
Yeah. Because words are references to other people's experiences. So you're using, or your own, but you're using experiences to build up a logic, and you're not using real experiences, you're using meta tags about them.
So,
so it's artificial though.
Well, I mean, it's
And
artificial.
I'm not saying literally,
It's
but
artificial
like,
in
yeah.
the sense that it's built from reality instead of built from divine principles. It's like built around material experiences. Like, well, that one time where you were hungry, that's this. We're gonna call that hungry. And that one time you were full. Well, my version of full is different than yours.
Right. So aren't you just
I'm
like
thinking of a
creating
map
more
right now.
idolization than?
When you're reading a map, you gotta map the key. You have little symbols that represent like a road. It represents a lake. Represents a river. Boundaries. That's what words are. Words are just a symbol that shows what the map of what you're supposed to do is.
Right, but like, so like RAM, like a computer, like random access memory, like instead of like you actually like creating this or like giving it a visualization or like a word or a symbolism,
Right,
essentially like you retaining that information and not having to write it down basically increases your RAM capacity. Is
the left, that Kabbalah thing is actually a 3-dimensional picture that somebody was saying that the other day.
Yeah, it was basically me just like trying to understand like you can increase your RAM.
It's
Go ahead.
Well, my thought about the Tower of Babel is that it's a story about humanity working together, and we're almost hypothetically at that point right now again, where we all at least are pretty much speaking the same language, and if we don't, we have computers that could help us do it at this point. So we're back to that point again where we all speak the same language, which was one of the key things afterwards where our language was confused or whatever. So yeah, some big steps are happening.
Maybe that's what the AI is doing when it's creating a different language for all of us to learn, so that it's the key to all of us speaking the same thing again.
Well, I'm fine with that if it helps us actually work together, because that's what we all have to do, is learn how to work together,
Well, yeah.
We
Then
need
again, I mean,
revolutionary
I'm
Jesus,
thinking
though,
like
right? With like the sword.
like you know how mitosis, we all got to separate into our own ways. Maybe the different tribes had to learn how to live with each other before we could live with everybody.
I mean, Babel's about humanity working together to escape this place for me. I don't know if it's that for you necessarily, but for me, it's all about humanity escaping this place. And that's our goal, and so that's the last major thing that happened in humanity's story, apparently, is us doing that and then getting knocked back down.
Trying to reach a higher plane above without the help of a one true God kind of thing.
Right. Trying to do it on our own.
I think we have to like fix
didn't
everything.
God tell us to do it on our own?
Well, that is what we should. I think that's what we are supposed to do, because the people that are keeping us here aren't on our side necessarily, I mean, maybe it's for our own good to be in this situation that we got to work out of, but there's definitely forces keeping us.
I like at very least escaping the fate of death if you want to, or like, creating the thing that you transform into. But we've talked a bit about this, Memory and like the idea of Gnosticism, and there are different ideas, right? Like where you're either Jesus is saying you become a co-heir, you're becoming equal. You're not just going to be folded into the Borg and pick up chairs all the time in the kingdom of heaven. Like you're supposed to be super powered. Essentially, you evolve from like the terrestrial form. So, I mean,
well, that's the question: is are we supposed to escape this place physically or spiritually? Like, is our chance to escape when we die and then not come back, or is it to collectively as a race somehow technologically escape this place? That those are two completely different, goals. Obviously.
Well, it depends on if you're talking about God the Father, Son, or the Holy Spirit. Are you talking about leaving this place spiritually? Because where two or more are gathered, there is God. So physically, we are God together. That we're more powerful together than we are apart. And that goes spiritually as well. Power of prayer actually works when there's people praying towards a certain thing spiritually. Mentally, if everybody brings all their brain power together, then we can come up with something that no one's ever thought of before.
Right,
Mind,
exactly.
body,
And that's what I'm saying. We got to work together to figure out, and that would be a shortcut. That would be a physical shortcut that would like skip a bunch of spiritual things that would like reveal a next level of existence for humanity to explore. Right? As if we
maybe that's why all the pharaohs said that the pharaoh is God, because he had all the bodies with him. So in his body he was God, but he didn't say that everybody else was too, because all their attention was pointed onto him. I'm sorry, I'm just thinking about right there.
Perhaps I don't know. I wouldn't think about Egyptian
practice, though. So with the Egyptian practice, there's a similar thing in Hinduism where there's the installation of the deity in each of your body parts. So at that point, when you've done that to every single part of your body and attribute it to a god and invoked the god into each part of you, you're not yourself anymore. If you've done the job, then you are God, and you can stay in that state. And that's the whole point of having a monkhood, or a, it's kind of like the priest is sort of a concept derived from this, where you have one person that is, they're essentially a renunciate, but their spiritual development is basically passed down to the people, which is why everybody helps them. So
right,
the monk
and it's
class,
like a trail of breadcrumbs for people to follow, but it's just a way for an individual to escape, right?
But that
sounds like a priesthood of the Godhead.
Which is not bad.
Right.
Yeah.
So the point. So the working pieces here are your own personal development, which is what you're saying as far as escaping, right? And then you have disciplic succession, right, which is lineage. So you have to. So if you spent your, let's say you live to 80, you spend your 80 years trying to make it up yourself or figure it out on your own and this sort of thing. You're
right. I'm just trying to like meditate and walk through the trees and let the trees tell me. But was 80 years enough time to hear that? I don't think it is. You're right.
Right. So it's good to have somebody that knows English to kind of tell you how to do things, right? Or if you're Tibetan, somebody who speaks that language. So that's kind of the value of a teacher, and what constitutes a valid teacher is like kind of it's a very broad and very specific subject. But needless to say, they have to have their own success, which is why that line in the Bible, right, about false teachers, it's not really talking about other religions or people who have had very clear noetic experience with these things, but it means people who are saying the words because they read the books, or they set themselves up as a Kundalini yoga teacher, but they don't have the actual success. So, it's like
right,
teaching.
They've only got a certain few pieces of the puzzle.
Doesn't make it perfect.
It's like trying to
perfect.
Right. It's like trying to teach at a college level, PhD level, when you don't even have your GED, So like a lot of these people, they can't sit still for longer than 15 minutes, that's just not where it's at. So, as far as looking at it as like escape, right? What are you escaping? You're escaping vice and illusion. And vice can only come from illusion, right? So it's the development of virtue, right? Which anyone can do. And that's the most normal good thing of a good life, is developing virtue and struggling against vice. That's what your average good person that may be agnostic, may have private silent beliefs, that's what they're doing, right? But then you have higher grades of ordeals, you could say, right? So things that you have to conquer over, just like your vices, like your desires.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not just conquering your own demons. There's going to be shit that comes in from the outside world that messes with you as well. Absolutely.
Well, if you're
That's
talking
why we
about
got to band together.
Right.
so we
if
can
you're
help
talking
solve each
about-
other's demons.
So yeah, you're kind of talking about spiritual warfare, and it's important to sort of classify which area you're speaking about, because it just helps to organize it, because
Okay. Yeah, it's really a broad topic. You're right. And, anytime I speak, I'm speaking from a pretty specific place that's been boiling. It's a stew I've been boiling up for a long time. So it's pretty specific. And yeah, it's like all of humanity, is at war for its, survival, and it doesn't really understand the nature of the conflict at hand just because of all the war and confusion that's been perpetrated through the war. So, yeah, I think humanity is needing to. We're dealing, and when I talk about other things coming in outside messing with it, it's just other possessed humans, And
well, it's not only that. I mean, the thing is, we're still in the jungle as far as the astral plane is concerned, or being, a spiritual being. Like, we have air conditioning, all that stuff, and
it's a complicated hierarchy for sure. And it's a big ecosystem that we don't even begun to even understand. I don't think. Yeah.
Right. Have you ever seen what's his name? He's a German director, Werner Herzog. Have you ever heard him talk about the jungle?
Well, that name sounds familiar. I'm pretty sure I've heard people talk about his films, but I'm not sure that I've heard him talk about the jungles. No.
Do you do the cabinet of Dr. Caligari?
I don't know.
Terrible with names and
He's
movies.
Grizzly Man, and did a bunch of documentaries, but then he also had like a whole like nonfiction period as well, and he has these very philosophical sort of amazing audio recordings. Of his series. Yeah, because he's
his accent is like awesome. It's really funny. It's comical.
He's also half Croatian. Just putting that out there.
Half Croatian.
His
Nice.
dad.
Oh, you're the
Croat.
Are you the Croat?
Or his mom in the he was raised by his mom in Bavaria.
We could
You what?
continue this talk for another 4 hours, I'm sure. Are we still on YouTube? Is Xirtus still here?
I'm still here. Can you hear me?
I feel like we've kind of hijacked and just kind of talked and talked.
This is the APM radio chat, I called it.
Radio chat.
It's pirate radio.
Yeah, it's pioneering right now.
He's in the bathroom. He didn't want to.
No,
he turned off the camera.
You can see me. Like,
This is live. You gotta warn me so I can get all the racism out of my system first.
I know how you feel about them Bigfoots. That's a fun one. Deers and Bigfoots. All right.
Bigfoot.
Dude, that's a great photo that's up right now.
I do like.
I'm
it.
actually part Bigfoot. How dare you?
Yeah, I got a pretty big foot. Let me go back to those pictures though. I got a bunch here. I was making some fun ones. Look at this one. This is good, right? We should be really.
No, I like that one.
What AI does for me.
I'm Dr. Parnassus.
Yeah, I wish that wasn't AI because I'd feel even better about it.
Why are people so?
AI
Well, you
did good
can
on
take
that
anything that's AI and then just redraw it. You can take that as your source photo and then make a painting off
exactly.
it and alter it.
Stop being so humanist though. Like why
Fuck
do
that? Just get a printer.
Why can't you be?
Well,
Yeah,
you can
exactly. Paragon's
add
right.
that human
Have you never
hand
been punk rock?
energy
You need to
and
learn about
alter
punk rock. Like we talked about goth, but like punk is more.
You can also
punk,
collage.
Let me tell you what.
If we're gonna talk about punk, we have to mention that Jordy from Killing Joke died, and that was just announced today.
Oh, that's kind of a bummer. That took my whole.
Yeah.
Why do you have to?
I wasn't gonna
swing
jump
that way?
on because I was still like really bummed about it.
Bro.
This is like my favorite band.
Oh, bro, I really love Killing Joke. This is not.
Yeah, this is like the
way to
fucking
kill the
greatest
joke.
band.
Literally, yeah.
I know.
No, they're
This is like the
based.
greatest band. I can't get anybody to stick to like love them as much as I do.
You found a friend.
Let's put them on in the background.
Oh yeah, let's just get in trouble.
Oh man,
Whoa.
put on
YouTube.
Slipstream.
No.
Put on
YouTube can't do it.
Slipstream. Oh, shit, boo.
This is why
Sorry.
just Discord is cool.
Discord's cool when you listen to music, but we're doing a radio chat. We can talk about it. What I was gonna say about punk is like Trey Parker and you know, live every
Baby.
day, and like
Not
the
you
idea,
as a
like
baby.
when you're punk, what you do is you don't wait like to have people give you permission. Like you take the opportunity to put the art out now, and then you can ask for forgiveness later. I think that's a big thing about punk. It's like you have to make art.
That's
all
how I
the
got
time.
banned from Etsy.
Yeah, you know, you should make art all the time. Yeah, well, you could probably get back on Etsy. They're pretty chill.
I did get back on Etsy.
And by the time someone's drawn a picture of this, good. That means I've already surpassed material form, and I'm inserting into consciousness directly before like ever doing anything. That sounds like more power. So I have no problem with AI being the thing. And you know, go ahead. I've met very few people that are using AI to make pictures that come out like these. I feel like your descriptions still matter. If you've got great descriptions, I think that will be the future. I don't think I'm the only one. I think it would be like all these kids that have gone to school for useless things. They're going to know the descriptions of things, and then AI will be able to actually function. So all of a sudden,
maybe that's the reason they're called keywords.
Yeah, it's great. I like it. I think it's a big thing is it's training keywords. Like this will benefit AIs in the future, but I'm for that. I don't see the problem with that. I don't know.
Hey, drop tonight.
I've been over here over a half hour. Let's tell you guys.
I can't hear whoever's in the background there. What was that?
I think it's someone talking to someone in real life.
In real life. Who else we got in the chat right now?
That's Mr. Numbers. I'm gonna call him.
What's up, Mr. Numbers?
I like this outfit that this guy has.
Where's that coming from? Mr. Numbers is making the noises?
It's
Yeah, I wish we could like see who was talking somehow.
I think I can. You just like look at like where the buttons got green coming around it. I got it. Sorry, Mr. Numbers and Keenan. You guys can push to talk when you sort out the sound in the room there. Sounds like Chuck E. Cheese is having a party. Paragon, what you been up to?
Filling orders.
Say what?
I'm filling orders right now.
Oh, filling orders. Brutal.
Look at the kid hanging out with Jesus on Halloween. That was funny.
Some of this stuff, you're like, ooh, you went a little far there. Because, like, again, they train the AI. Paranoid American and I were talking about how they train the AI on, like, pornography, which leads to better AI art, which is more subliminally acceptable because it's hypersexualized, you know?
It does look like old school pinup.
Yeah.
It's hard to find any models that aren't based on porn. If you go to like, what's it called, civitai.com.
They're bad models, you know. They're better models this way. I'm just reticent in case I come across something I shouldn't. These are okay. These are all fine.
No, I'm just saying props to the pervs out there because they're like spending all that time. You gotta love what you do, right? So they're obsessing over getting the areolas just the right shade, reflecting in the
really, let's
window.
get to the anatomy. It's
so
the anatomy
really pushing
that they
it
show.
forward.
The fact that they get the the anatomy is the thing. Like you get more interesting anatomy, and also I think the energy comes through.
Is that a dual-faced fish on both sides?
Where was it? The fish?
Like 3 back.
I don't know. I'm gonna look at this for a second because this is like this is Christmas now. Okay, this is what it is. Get used to it. Happy holidays, all of them. I feel good. This one, no, this one. Where was
pretty
it?
though.
The fish. There was a fish. Where is the fish one? A few back. This one? Yeah. Look at that. Yeah. That's like.
Was he doing watercolor?
Yeah. He's painting the people with watercolor. See? You get it. You see some of the keywords that matter. Yeah, and I feel like that's the other thing. Like, imagine you take like Manly P. Hall and you just put it into Dolly and you say like, make all of this, and then you just make all of the symbols, and you've got like, the best coloring book ever of all of this stuff. It'd be great.
Dude, he's got to be in Japan with the neon lights.
Jesus in Japan with neon lights? This is going to be dangerous. Oh, there's the clown again. I could probably make it.
Yeah, the Halloween Jesus, though, goes like crazy. I'm not even
The Killing Joke. Holy shit.
where's my Halloween Jesus again? Because I love the Halloween Jesus. Also, just her buying ice, like Mary Magdalene buying ice cream from Jesus, or Jesus buying ice cream from Mary Magdalene, or them eating ice cream together. It says a lot to me. I don't know how far.
What if that's Joseph taking her out on a date?
Oh my god, people and ice cream.
Dude, and it's in Mostar. You can tell from the bridge, which is also pretty cool.
Oh,
But yeah, I feel like Jesus, like, so people don't get Halloween, right? And that was the thing. I was like, this is really a great. It's right before All Saints Day.
It's like 3 days. It's
and a
like
bunch of
All
these-
Saints, All Souls is the next one.
Yeah, I'm just gonna call it like the X
It's a
Day
couple
trilogy.
days.
But most
Yeah.
people hate it. Like these Christians are like, I don't celebrate Halloween. You know, and you're like, great, that's a cool way to get a bag of like feces on fire in front of your house. Like, interesting. Like, you're gonna really, like, you know, they call it trick or treat for a reason. It's like your choice. But I don't know. Isn't it like the most Jesus?
Halloween is the high Scorpio holiday.
Seems like it's the most.
It's all about sex and candy.
No, is it? Maybe.
It is, yeah. Scorpio is Halloween, and obviously Sagittarius is Thanksgiving, Capricorn is Christmas.
Yeah, but
telling that
Scorpio
like
doesn't
North America's favorite holiday.
Scorpio,
Yeah,
you
we
either
can call
dress
it
sexy
Hoggy-Oween.
or you dress scary. That's Scorpio. You go for the candy, that's desire.
I think
Hide your face,
Scorpio.
hidden things. That's Scorpio.
I think of a Scorpio as like a scorpion in the desert. I'm thirsty in the desert and dragging myself across the desert, and then a scorpion comes up and just whips me with its tail and laughs and says, "Survive!" You know, I feel like that's a Scorpio. So Scorpios can be like they're talking to the dead. They can help the nearly dead. Like they're right there because you know, scorpions can survive almost anything. So what seems like insurmountable and unsurvivable is something a scorpion's used to. It's like, whatever, it's not a problem. I can help you through this. Maybe
Yeah, if you get too
Scorpios-
close, it'll sting you because they require a lot of loyalty or people in their corner exclusively. So that's the only people they want in to their circle and stuff. So I guess they'll sting you if it's like not in.
That's reasonable. I think that's
Yeah.
reasonable.
Yeah, you got to be gang.
Yeah, they don't have your complete devotion. Yeah.
Yeah, they have like an all-in energy. Yeah.
Hey, nobody likes a hokey pokey motherfucker.
Dude.
We
Jesus
watch
in
our
the diner with
Babysitter.
Mary Magdalene is also a thing.
I think Scorpios tend to burn the whole house down rather than walk out of it.
That too, yeah.
Aw. Yeah, that could be true. Dude, the bananas. The bananas.
Yeah, this one's cute. I like the red veil.
I feel like we could sell this in Mostar. People would be all about it. Good prints.
The guy's hair or outfit, something's wrong with the guy's style though.
It's
No,
just
dude, he's
fucking
Luke Skywalker.
Dork mutton chop.
They counter each other somehow. Like
You
it's
don't like
not
the red mutton
harmonious.
chops?
I mean, if they were a little lighter, it wouldn't be as bad. But he has like bleach blonde on top, and then it's like dark black button job.
This
Yeah.
was the look. This was like the early
Perfect
90s,
though.
late 80s. I like
This is Ryan Gosling.
Yeah, this happened.
This happened.
They're going to back up.
Oh,
Can you imagine the world when it looked like that? Oh my god, amazing.
I like the clown with you know, I like the clown with the saints. Clowns keep clowning, saints keep praying.
Where's that dark-haired Mormon looking right now?
through his shoulder.
I think he's kind of like
He's just praying really hard.
good point. See, yeah, there's something going on with the way AI works.
Yo, I see the sign that the ginger's throwing up on the clown.
You like how long
Checking his pulse.
Jesus was a revolutionary and was way more hardcore than they will tell you. That's what this comic book needs to be about, right?
Yo, imagine he walked. Like, there was no buses, there was no planes. Like,
He had donkeys. He was selling donkey. Dude.
right,
Even
but
Ocean's Gate.
imagine walking from fucking the Black Sea to Japan. Like,
Well, he probably didn't walk to
Wait,
Japan. He probably took a boat to
Use
Japan.
cart.
He didn't need a boat.
Yeah, true. He just walked across the water. Fair.
But there wasn't a plane.
Exactly.
Fair enough, bro. Gnarly.
you have to walk when you can walk on water.
He surfed.
Now get walking. Jeez, dude. I hope
He surfed. He was just on his stomach sliding.
that'd be pretty based. That's kind of terrifying to think, though.
They need to remind me of his like adventures to all these countries.
Oh, where's my
That'd
new meme
unify
group?
us.
United Saints Meme Corps. I started a new meme
Like
group.
it's like his journey to Japan.
Where did I put
his
these? People
journey
are
to
out here.
India.
Pictures. Here's a bunch of pictures of Jesus, and obviously there's some issues there with the tank, but yeah.
Yeah. These.
They're always right. Sorry.
What's
That's
wrong?
Tommy Chong.
What's wrong with that? I don't know. But
You need to incorporate more the Bloodsport guy, I think, because
I
there's
mean,
something
he
about-
might not have been as swole, but he was
Jesus,
definitely
why?
ripped.
Why, Jesus? Why? I feel bad. I'm not trying to be blasphemous. I'm not. This
Jesus
is-
has to be a little less, like a little more soft.
No,
Right?
this is Chad. This is
Yeah.
Kenny
Nah,
Loggins.
if you were
Christ.
fasting, you were definitely ripped.
This is Kenny
Like,
Loggins Christ.
not
This is
swole,
no way-
but definitely toned.
Oh no, I shouldn't have closed
Swimmer's body.
that. Kenny
Yeah,
Loggins.
exactly.
White robe.
Kenny Loggins.
Swimmer's body, but tries
Do you
to
ever-
dive and just
Do you ever
floats.
see Kenny
like-
Loggins and like have a dream? You know what I mean? Because like he's just more than you think he is, or something. I don't know if it's just the cocaine he does, but
he's kind, yeah.
he's
No,
always
yeah,
in,
that
like,
guy's
this,
great.
He's in this like beautiful white.
That's a
robe.
sweet ass haircut.
Oh, he's just sweet man, I'm sure. But also, I don't know. This is it because his dad was gonna die. There's more to this man, I'm sure. He just seems like he's on like a different. There we go. He's on a different level. When you see this vinyl, you know that this isn't just a man. You know what I mean? Like this is like David Blaine. Like this is closer to Christ than you will ever come.
Oh, like a gentle, yeah. Like he.
And he still got it too. It's like he did real good on that Thundercat track.
But I wouldn't say he's gentle. I would say he's a fierce tiger cat. You know what I mean? I think he would say something like that too, right? Wouldn't he? He's like this.
No.
This is the kind of Kenny Loggins Christ. That's what I see.
He's warm and fuzzy.
Yeah. Maybe he doesn't take steroids, and that's fine. But yeah. I mean, like it's the tropical that really brings it out.
Like wrestler Christ. Like it's a wrestler.
I do see that.
It's a little more like.
He
advanced,
does his
like-
reverse pyramid lifts.
It's like Miami Jesus.
It's
Yeah, like
it's
tougher.
GI Joe
He's
Christ.
like three
G.I.
chicken
Jesus.
breasts a day.
Jesus.
GI Jesus Christ.
It's Hollywood Jesus. Yeah.
Right, Hollywood Jesus.
Adds like 60 pounds on his pull-ups.
This one's funny. I like that proportion in the last one.
Like down
Yes,
in the
yeah.
base.
This is like a clown car tank.
Yeah, it's like the things are not
How many
proportional
tanglers
properly.
can
but-
we fit in
It's
here?
like-
Let's find out.
I like
That'd be
that
adorable.
style.
At least 12.
Holy Grail Express.
Oh man, that's what those guys were dressed up as, eh? That's what their vision
The
was.
search was definitely a ripped Hawaiian Jesus and a tank with gang of Templars.
Yeah, they're like, let's do this.
This is good.
Wait,
This is like hippie Jesus. He's like, yeah, I know we got the war now, but I'm chill about it. That's what
Peace Corps
know.
Jesus.
It's like we don't call it like peace for 1,000 years for nothing. Like, yeah, he's pretty serious. You're right. This is
1,000 years of pieces.
I've come to bring a sword. All right.
When the Jesus hits the war.
Is that a cross,
Roman
or is he
taking.
wearing an odal, like a Thor hammer right now?
It's a Franciscan cross.
Okay, I'll take it. That's fine.
Mhm.
The bottom heavy ank.
Yeah, it's a little
Yeah,
bottom.
there's not a whole lot of arc in that ank.
He doesn't look very Franciscan right now.
High T. High T ank.
Is he
How?
literally bleeding from wearing that? Like he's wearing his crown and bleeding from it.
Yeah, it's so
right now.
tight. It's just ripping through
He's
his
just
forehead.
like, so base.
But his hair can still flow.
This is the most space Christ. Oh, yeah. Gotta join United Saints meme corps. United Saints meme corps.
That's Serpico.
To make these things that you're making.
This guy use Dolly these days.
It's like middle-age crisis, Jesus.
That's Nick Cage.
This is Roger Corman's Christ Return.
Oh, this is if Christ like decided not to die that day. He's like, you know what? I have a better idea.
I have a business to run.
Yeah, it's like Germanic or something.
Like an 80s cocaine movie.
Wow, this could change the war. I feel like that's the thing. Imagine like right in the
You
middle
got
of
to
the
intercept
battle.
that shipment of Eucharist.
Jesus,
snow
it's so
trooper.
But she's into like a GIF as a slideshow, so it's like people can.
I don't think that would be safe. I think that would literally traumatize people. You
Yo,
put, like, a
Crispy,
Yeah.
that's a
track behind
great
that,
idea.
play
There's
some
something
of
about
that
the subtle
Nirvana
nuance,
guitarist.
though. That it's like there's something about the juxtaposition between each image that you appreciate the AI more.
You
It's
get it
like,
more and more and
look
more,
at the
yeah.
subtlety.
Yeah, I could see that being the thing. Oh, the
Speaking
tiny-
of,
Yeah, I went
the
I
tiny
went
tank
down the
sticker, you know.
rabbit hole doing AI art for a little while, and yeah, it's beyond words, you know, and the only limits is your creativity. So it's like it lays bare anybody that wants to create art, like, can do it, man. But you've got to have a creative mind, and all of a sudden you're confronted with that, you know. And so I think, yeah, uncreative people would have a lot of problem creating art on AI. I mean, I tried to get my mom to do it, and she just couldn't even wrap her head around the concept, really. You know?
Wait, what do you use
Thing
to
with
make
the
Yeah,
it?
you have to be creative.
Big Five personality, there's openness, and people can have like extreme openness, but openness is two shades of itself. So one is like openness to ideas and like appreciating aesthetic and kind of needing beauty and like liking beauty and having beauty. And I probably more women and more people have that style of extreme openness or openness if they score high. And then there's another factor of people who have openness that's high in abstract thinking. So those are the people who are going to be able to come up with something new out of a collection of information. So
I have a question.
I have 92%.
You in the abstract kind.
Yeah. Well, I'm an
Yeah,
artist
right?
and a programmer. Yeah.
That's it, right? So that's unique to have, because it's like it's unique to be to be open in the first place. It's like 50-50 maybe the world, and then and then it's a certain percent that has that abstract out of all the open people as well. So it's kind of interesting because I don't have high that one. I have high the appreciating kind or whatever, or needing it to be beautiful, things to be beautiful, needing like feel it, yeah. It's like takery kind of, or like crafty or designery or something. Not designer even, because they think outside the box too. But there's something about that being able to synthesize things and create something new that's unique. Yeah.
What
I think what we all do as humans is create new things. That's the cool thing that humans have the ability to do, is
I always
create.
noticed it's like there's artists and then there's like craftsmen, so it's like I had no problem ever being a craftsman, and if I was ever going to be an artist, being more of like a craft artist. There's no problem in that because you're still producing something that's artful. It's still applying creativity. But
but the more in touch you get with your craft,
yeah.
The more in touch you get with your craft, the more it becomes like an art, And
yes,
so,
but there's a craftsmanship that's rooted in tools that you perfect. It's rooted in something that's already been done, not done before, but discovered before or laid out before. So there's something about the application aspect, while like an artist will take the things and then use them wrong or use them different, or I don't know how to describe it, but they're going to take the tool and flip the tool.
Shorts.
Yeah.
What
So
you're
it's
describing
unique. It's
sounds like
special.
art and craft.
Yeah, we can
There
hear
was
you.
a thing in England.
Landscapes.
What'd you say?
Are they like mandalas?
What are?
Whoa. See, I don't. What are they synthesizing? What are they grouping? It's like they're able to do some kind of. Yeah.
It's just Gestalt. You just take shape and form, and you're like this, do that with this. This is language. This is a lot like English. I think some people have a hard time seeing in imagery, and so they think the only way to think is in language. But I guess it's not outside of language to think in imagery. It's just a different kind of language.
I think language is
I think go ahead.
We started out as nonverbal. What you guys were saying before about nonverbal communication.
Yeah, no, somehow.
Can't quite understand what you're saying. Non-verbal?
Yeah, some
Something?
people have lower mics and higher
The
mics.
Killing Joke again.
Killing
I
joke.
hate that. It's like regulate it.
Well, I was going to say, I think speaking of different AI applications, I think the art is, an infinite, use case.
Yeah.
But, talking about other use cases, I'm particularly fascinated with the notion. I haven't really been able to delve into it much, but, there's this channel called Moon Dev on here on YouTube, and I've been watching this dude, and he's trying to create AI bots to trade crypto for him.
I've used those before. Yeah, there's a site you can go sign up for
Well-
right now. They've got it all preloaded and shit.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah, they've got these bots. I mean, they've had trading bots for years, and they've been, and the whole markets are using trading bots at this point. But this dude's using, he's using AI to create these, next level bots. It's a whole nother level. I can't even really explain it because it's a little over my head. Honestly, I've been trying to break through conceptually what he's doing, but he's mostly using ChatGPT, and it seems pretty simple all in all if you really just get down to it. But I haven't really been able to figure out, understanding getting the ChatGPT to interface with various apps, and extensions and stuff like that. But
I think it's like
it
$10
seems
a month for their API.
well, he said he's paying $100 a month. I
Yeah,
was
it like
kind of
scales
freaking out
up.
about.
I think it
I
starts
was,
at 10 though. I looked at it the other day.
yeah, I'm not sure how much you got to pay them to be able to do something like trade and make money.
They
Kind of
like to study
open-ended.
people. Part of the deal is they're watching everything you do, so they can learn how
Yeah.
to do it better. Yeah.
Well, that's
I
what
mean, I'm real
I'm
curious if
definitely
that's gonna
thinking that.
work. Like, I wonder if he actually makes any money because people
Well,
like
this guy seems pretty freaking obsessed. He seems convinced on a religious level.
yeah,
and maybe he's just doing it to run his channel. I'm not sure
yeah.
percent yet, but I'm watching him, and I would recommend other people to have a look at him because he's got a very low attendance, and I'm kind of surprised he's not. And I don't know anybody else that's doing what he's doing.
Man, I wish I could remember who
Well,
said it. I heard it the other day
There's
from
a
a
video.
business podcast. Some guy, like the head of like the top, trading company, hedge fund people, talking about like the odds of winning in the stock market or whatever is like you might as well have a bunch of gorillas flipping a coin or something. You guys know that quote?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, sure. I mean, I think the markets are infinitely complex to a certain degree, right? But I think as AGI or whatever is achieved, these computers are going to be able to, perceive the markets on a level nobody ever has been able to. And so I feel like it seems like if that is achieved, all of a sudden overnight, some coder could figure out how to trade all the crypto out of the markets in a matter of a day. I don't know, but it seems like that's slightly possible. I don't know.
That's what they want you to think.
It will be interesting though if money is able to move that automatically, and we get to a point where money just moves where AI thinks is best for it to move. What is that going to mean if AI runs everything? So,
Yeah, just
Right.
Xirtus, did you get the link of I guess in France they used AI for their tax system, and then it charged property tax to like 16,000 children. As people use, people hide property through their children. So it's like this old hack where it's like you can't, you'd be bankrupt or you'd be charged, but like if you just put it in the child's name, then
and 20,000 undeclared pools.
exactly. And then
Freaking
they
France.
charged all the kids because AI was like, oh, this is like who has to pay. So it's like it's also showing, not corruption, but how people always look for those loopholes, right? So the AI finds all the loopholes and all the loopholes and all the, because people are always gaming just as much.
If they can.
This system, people game the system, right, all the time. So it's like, if you make a new rule, people are going to game it. That's part of the game,
Exactly.
you know? But it's
And
like
that's the
kind of
fun thing.
fascinating, the race of that, but it'll accelerate so much, right? So
Governments will always try to go after rich people's money, but the reason rich people are rich is because they find new ways to hide their money or make more money. So it's like
yeah,
never
so
gonna
it
end.
calls out kind of everyone a little bit. Like, it's kind of interesting, but it also,
Well, it's always the
Well,
middle
it's
class
also
that
because
suffer
they
when
got the
government gets involved, no matter like
yeah. It's
what
also
level
because
it
they
is.
got the books in their hands. They got the books. The ledgers are all in their hands for accounts to
it's going
be
to
made
change
balanced.
right and wrong. That's
No,
the
I'm
thing.
not talking about like the elites. I'm talking about just your run-of-the-mill average rich guy, like self-made millionaires and shit.
Yeah, but
Right.
it'll change
They
norms,
know how to
I
play the
think.
game.
It'll be like, what's
Oh,
right
right.
and
Yeah,
wrong.
sure. They know where to get in where they fit in.
Because they'll have AI lawyers, right? So they'll like update laws and stuff. Who won?
Well, at the 3 hour mark, I'm thinking pretty good test. I'm going to continue the Discord conversation. If anybody wants to join, go over to the Discord. If you guys want, I'll put the link in again to the chat. If you guys go to tartarynova.com, click on the Discord entry, it'll take you right to the page. And in the chat comments, here is the link itself, which is, discord.gig/what. So
Smash that thumb, everybody. Smash that thumb up.
please smash the thumb. And yeah, join us in the Discord, because the Discord is obviously pretty cool. And right now, let me show you the Discord. Right now, we got like plenty of people in it. There's like a cool way to post. We've got debunking open. I love this GIF. You can also go to the AI art, which is, I went so fast past it. Where'd it go? It's up here, right? Saw it earlier. AI art. There it is. AI art. We're making AI art. You can make some Valentines with
Join
Bin
us on
Laden.
Discord. Oh, that doesn't matter. Sorry.
Yeah, join us on Discord. That matters. It matters. Alex gifted a membership. That's super sweet. Thank you, Alex. That's super cool.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. And yeah, everybody, love you. I'll talk to you soon. Peace out on the
Good.
YouTube. Join us over the Discord. Talk to you later.
The N-word gloves are coming off.
Oh, no.